mid-rand systems have shown signs of recovery and are now supplying fairly to adequately. These include Grand Central, Robbie Ridge, Ranyasfontein, the Development Bank and Stain City reservoirs and towers. However, other systems remain under pressure, with Ranyas Reservoir and President Park Tower still supplying but at declining levels, increasing the risk of low pressure, especially in high-lying areas. In Johannesburg's central system, a number of reservoirs, including Alexandra Park and Berea, remain closed under operating protocols to allow levels to recover, meaning no water for some supply zones. Joburg Water says interventions are being implemented to balance the system, with alternative water being provided where possible on a regional basis. Mungi Zikoko, Eyewitness News.
The Johannesburg Social Housing Company says it has recovered nearly 1 million rand, which was paid for the construction of a wall that was never built at an old age home. EWN has seen a letter to the entity's board by former Human Settlements MMC Anthea Leach, alleging that ex-Josco COO Themba Matibe instructed the contractor not to proceed with the work. Matibe is now in the spotlight following a dramatic arrest by the SAPS's elite special task force on suspicion of money laundering. Police say a large sum of cash was found at his home near Sandton recently during the arrest. Alfara Mushwana reports.
The City of Johannesburg's Social Housing Company has been rocked by procurement irregularities, some of which allegedly involve its former COO Themba Matibe, who is now the entity's acting CEO. Last month, police raided the company's offices in Johannesburg as part of an investigation into serious procurement breaches. On the same day, he was arrested and charged with money laundering after SAPS's elite special task force found a large sum of cash at his home. But this was not the first time that allegations were leveled against him. An internal letter previously alleged that Matibe approved a 1 million rand payment for the construction of a wall that was never built. While the entity has confirmed the payment was made despite no work being done, it insists Matibe was not involved in any attempt to defraud the city. In a statement to EWN, the entity says the 1 million rand has since been recovered and the contractor involved has been blacklisted. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
Forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan says he's not willing to be interrogated by members of parliament over allegations he says have been made against him by criminals, and he won't be part of a kangaroo court. O'Sullivan is expected to return to the Parliament's ad hoc committee this morning, where he will face questions about allegations levelled against him by previous witnesses such as KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and former Minister or suspended Minister Senzo Mchunu Chief of Staff Cedric Nkabinde. O'Sullivan spent most of yesterday responding to questions about his professional and education background, as well as how he became a police reservist and a forensic examiner. Babalondenze has more.
Paul O'Sullivan will take the stand again today to give more evidence to the ad hoc committee about his own allegations of police corruption, where he's implicated several senior police officials. Most of yesterday focused on his background and how he was employed by the Airports Company of South Africa as the head of aviation security. But committee member Julius Malema says O'Sullivan has a lot to answer on police interference and other allegations.
Tomorrow we're going to have to answer the allegations that were made against him. So we will make sure he's going to answer those.
But O'Sullivan is not prepared to be interrogated, saying he spent 36 years of his life fighting crime and police corruption.
Instead of coming here to give evidence, I've come here to be interrogated on allegations made against me by criminals. Is that why I'm here? Because if that's why I'm here, I'm going to withdraw my cooperation. I'm not going to assist in a kangaroo court.
But MPs have rejected O'Sullivan's complaint and his threat to withdraw his participation before the committee. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And at least 10 people have been killed in a remote part of Western Canada, including 8 who were shot at a school and 2 others found dead at a residence. Police say the attack involved an active shooter at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School in British Columbia Province. Officers say a person believed to be the shooter was also found dead with what appears to be a self-inflicted injury. The motive for the shooting is unknown. Ken Floyd from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police says the situation is rapidly evolving.
We have multiple layers of support coming for our students, for our teachers, for our community of Tumbler Ridge, for our front line and front first responders that were part of this unfolding event.
Gold is trading at $5,051.42 an ounce. The rand is at 15.90 to the dollar, 21.72 to the pound, 18.94 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $69.18 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on Eldorado Park on the N12 East. This is between Klipspruit Valley Road and the Golden Highway. There's also queuing traffic along the Marquand North between Boyson's Road and the Crown Interchange. While travelling on the N3 North, do expect delays between the Elands Interchange and the Geldenhuys Interchange.
And in your sport, Manchester United and Chelsea's winning streak halted as both teams draw and Spurs lost at home to Newcastle. The Proteas women snatched a 5-wicket win over Pakistan with a 6 on the last ball of the first T20. And the Proteas men take on Afghanistan at the T20 World Cup starting at 7:30 this morning.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg starting at 15 degrees, peaking at 30. Pretoria 17 and 31. For the Ingang 16 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The end of a Joburg Water employee strike has not brought immediate relief, with households and businesses still dealing with low pressure and a lack of supply.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. Get your brain in the game and win big on the Brain of 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock, it is a Wednesday, the 11th of February, the year of our Lord, 2026. Welcome to the program. My name is Bongani Bingwa, and indeed, it's always a great pleasure to have you on the show, listening to us, wherever you are, in your car, in your home, at the gym, lying in bed still, rubbing your eyes. I don't know why I say that, because if you've been able to switch on the radio, or you're streaming us from your phone or from your TV, you've done the rubbing of the eyes, have you not? I'm not alone, as always. An entire team is with me. Behind the scenes, producers Sia and Rafiu are putting the show together. Karabo is here. KG starting the clock. Good morning, Muteo.
Morning, Bongs.
Amo.
Good morning, Bongs.
I almost wanted to say what Africa said. Is that it?
Oh, wow.
We usually have a, how are you? Are
Yeah.
you well? Are you alive?
Oh, I can tell you well. You're in good spirits. You're in good spirits.
Funny enough, don't be deceived by my smiling face. I'm annoyed. I'm upset. Dry, beloved city of darkness is the front page of the Sowetan this morning. It's got residents of Johannesburg with bottles and bottles, empty bottles, and a water tanker. Now people are fighting each other because even at the water tanker distribution sites, there's such poor organization. There's no one in control of how many bottles you are filling up. And so you wait for hours, and by the time your turn comes, the water's finished. This is a world-class African city. We don't have water. I'm angry.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
The front page of The Citizen, it's day zero for many. I mean, water, power cuts. What is your experience of service delivery in the city of Johannesburg? We've focused a little bit on this issue every now and again, but there are people who've been without water for weeks. For weeks now. There are planned marches today in various parts of Joburg. A lot of it suburbia, but it has actually now become a problem. Yesterday, the ANC Secretary General, I mean, he's had some perlers over the years, but he said the most extraordinary thing yesterday. This is now Fikile Mbalula, and I've suddenly lost my paper that I need to have to be able to tell you what he said, and I found it. Fikile Mbalula says yesterday, yeah, but there's not too much of a big deal of this, right? So Helen Zille has been going around various parts of the city, as you would as an opposition, politician trying to get in. That's what you do. You point out all the wrong. It's what she's supposed to do. And it's difficult to argue with her because she posts videos and she says, look, this is where I am. Yesterday, she was sitting in this freshwater lake because of a leak that had been unattended. It's now caused a lake, and she was dipping her feet, sitting with an umbrella. She says, "Oh, it's very hot in Joburg, but let me cool myself down." That's what you do as an opposition leader. You create the drama. But Fikile Mbalula yesterday, as the ANC, the African National Congress Secretary General, was talking about a pipe burst in Bryanston. She said, yeah, it's a pipe burst. But don't make a big deal out of it, man. Come on, these things happen. Have a listen.
Yeah, we have seen a pipe burst that happened for almost overnight, which is what we may call water wastage, clean water. And we've seen the leader of another political party defining this as incompetence of the city. Yes, where there is incompetence, it must be found and exposed, but equally, we must not distort things. We now know that these water pipes and the burst is as a result of a massive strike going on in the city, particularly among municipal workers who are responsible for maintenance of water drainage and all of that. When we called the mayor, assured us that this matter is being attended to.
Here's the thing. In this particular instance, he says the reason this hasn't been attended to is because the workers are on strike. So let's not distort things. The difficulty, if you're a resident of Johannesburg, is that these things happen all the time. They were happening before the strike. I've put on videos of water leaks that have been unattended to on my social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, many a time. This is after trying to tag the accounts of Joburg Water on social media to say, hey, at such and such an intersection, come and see. And you go there the next day and the water's still gushing out. So it may well be true that in this instance, the strike affected how quickly that pipe would have been dealt with. But to say, don't distort things and don't make a big deal out of it. So yes, I'm going to play you that clip of the DA Federal Council chairperson sharing a visit to Linbro Park, highlighting, and this is part of what's irritating, right? It's the idea that they gaslight us and they say the real issue is overconsumption. We're going to start being tough now on residents who use too much. And I'm fully aware that there are residents who probably use a lot more than they should. But they're billed for it, right? Don't they have these staggering rates based on usage? But if 40% of our potable water is lost due to leaks and infrastructure issues, and yes, even illegal connections, you blaming residents for that?
So it's a really lekker summer day in Joburg. I thought I'd take some time off and relax at the dam. Not. This is Linbro Park, where millions of litres of water have been gushing out of this pipe for a whole week. And this is fresh, clean drinking water being wasted, running down the street and creating this lake over here, which is really deep. I'm just sitting here at the edge of it. Now, you will know that Rand Water is throttling Joburg Water to make sure that you use less water when you haven't even got water in your pipes. This is because Joburg Water says that the average user in Joburg uses double the amount of the international average of water per day. I don't believe that for a minute. This is the reason that the water consumption is so high. We're losing millions of litres to waste and to leaks and to bad infrastructure. And before anybody says that Joburg residents must cut their consumption, could Joburg Water just fix the infrastructure?
Simple as that. My view, simple as that. So I want to know from you right now on 011 883 0702, do you have issues with water? Have you had to go and stand in a queue for hours with your empty bottles at a tanker? I, of course, and this just, flabbergasted me. Last year, I bumped into a tanker that was dumping water. Because again, there's tenders involved, right? So the quicker you go back to refill, the more invoices you can send. So whether that water was distributed to the people who need it or not, nobody's really looking into that. I literally found a guy dumping liters and liters and liters of water. And I said, what are you doing? I posted it on my Instagram. You can go check it out. I said, what are you doing? And there were bystanders who were just sort of watching this whole thing unfold, and I was filming him. And then they were telling this guy to grab my phone because nyapap. Welcome to Joburg.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
We don't have a shout out this morning. We want to know your issues with service delivery broadly in Johannesburg, but specifically to do with water and maybe even electricity. What have you experienced? What have you seen insofar as leaks and infrastructure damage? And has that been attended to on time? Do you get a response? When you report issues, are they attended to? It's as simple as that. Let us know on 011 883 0702. We'll take your WhatsApp voice notes on 072 702 1702.
You're complaining about Joburg. I live in an area called Lihaya, which is part of Lenasia. Water goes off at least twice a day, every day. And when it's back for about 2 hours. And when I say every day, I mean every day. So you wake up in the morning, you have to make sure that you catch the water in the morning so you can bath and prepare for work. And then in the afternoon, if you're around, you just have to make sure that you take the opportunity when the water's back, because it goes off around 8:30 and 9 a.m. And then in the evening again, it's going to come back probably around 6, 7, and then around 8 again it goes off.
Now, we often get frustrated because you're just thinking about your household, right? You're thinking about cooking, you're thinking about your washing, you're thinking about getting the kids ready, yourself. Those are the things that frustrate us. But how do you run a business like that? How do you run a factory? People can't go to work because you can't flush your toilets. You see what I mean? Forget whatever inputs you may need, from your production cycle to get water as part of your production cycle and part of how your factory operates. Basics like you cannot have people working in an undignified space. If there's no water in the bathrooms, you get those messages from, I'm a member of Virgin Active. I'm a proud active virgin. They sometimes will send you messages to say this club doesn't have water. If there's no water, you can't come. Can't go to work. So now people lose their jobs. Production closes. Bye-bye that factory. Bye-bye that business. But no, don't distort things. Don't make it a big deal.
Let's walk the talk.
7:02.
Now that that's a little out of my way, I'm feeling a little bit relieved. Mateo.
Yes.
You've got a question of your own.
We're in line this morning. We're aligned. Let me put it that way. Because I'm asking the question, are you good at taking constructive criticism? And I'm hoping those that are leaders, those that should be doing the job, are actually listening to the show.
Yeah.
And taking some of this on.
I think so. So when you do a public job where everybody has an opinion,
yeah,
I think I struggle a lot more with people who have opinions who haven't tried to find out.
Okay.
Right? Or somebody heard about the show and they think, oh, that Bongani guy. I did and you can go watch it on YouTube. I can plug him. Sizwe Mpofu Walsh. I did a podcast episode of that. And people are now saying, oh. And I'm like, so your criticism wasn't constructive because you had no context. Right? But when criticism is constructive, I think I can take it. I mean, maybe you should answer that question, actually. Am I good with constructive criticism?
Yeah, I think you are on some days.
Wow. Amo, save me. Save me, Amo.
You are good at giving constructive criticism.
Oh, go away.
Yeah, you really do give constructive criticism.
Just can't take it.
Amu can't take it well. But
yeah, it takes a bit of
we love
time.
her.
It takes a bit of time, but I'll take it eventually.
I'll tell you where I'm asking.
She has no choice.
702.
Weather.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Temperatures in Joburg maxing at 30 degrees. Pretoria 31, Vereeniging 29. Johann Cape Town is 28. Bombela and Bloemfontein also 28. Gqeberha and East London 30 degrees. That's the same for Kimberley.
EWN Traffic.
22 after 6, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by South African Airways. Make your move this Valentine's. Book your romantic getaway at flysaa.com. Amo?
Well, Bongani, you spoke about several marches that will be taking place in several areas this morning to just highlight the water outage issues. As a result, do expect delays, especially in the Melville area along Main Road towards Kingsway Road. If you're heading towards Auckland Park, try to use Berry Herzog. Also do expect delays within the Parktown areas as well as Emerentia. And then if you're traveling on the Mike 1 North, we've got delays between Boysons and the Car Street. Peak time delays there as well as in Eldorado Park along the N12 East between Klipspruit Valley Road and the Golden Highway. While leaving Lenasia, do expect heavier traffic volumes on the R554 approaching the Golden Highway exit. That's due to roadworks taking place along that route. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Valentine's weekend is almost here, and this is your sign. Make the move. South African Airways has amazing fares to your favorite destinations. Fly to Cape Town from just 1,144 Rand, Durban from 690 Rand, Gqeberha from 655. And that's just the beginning. Explore even more destinations at flysaa.com. Make the move. Surprise your loved one. Make it a Valentine's weekend to remember, hey? Book now at flysaa.com or contact your nearest travel agency. T's and C's apply.
You're with Bongani Bingwa on 702.
Taking your calls on 011-883-0702.
Quick one from Godfrey in Sandton. Good morning, Godfrey. You want to talk about water?
Yes, Bongani. Bongani, I suggest that all the state entities that deals with service delivery must be privatized. Reason is that private sector is thriving when coming to consequence management. You know, if you don't get something right, you get booted. You either perform or you shape up or you ship out, because it can't be correct that we've got people who can be moved from one department to another knowing that they failed to another department that they were there before.
Shape up or shape out. That's what Godfrey says. Is privatization always the answer? There are things that the state is meant to provide, right? Just because we're used to now paying for, I don't know, medical aid or private security or private schooling, even those things we shouldn't be paying for. Those are things that the state is meant to be providing. Even water. Why is there no consequence management within the public sector then? If Godfrey's view is correct.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Well, here you go. Things you need to know. So, large parts of the Joburg CBD have been without electricity since a fire at the Bree substation. City Power aiming to restore supply, hopefully, by Friday. Yeah? Residents say the outage has led to spoiled food, safety concerns, and obviously, as you imagine, disruptions to daily life, especially at night. City Power says cleanup and testing are underway, even though they don't know what the cause of the fire might have been. I mean, does it feel like every day there's a new crisis, there's a new challenge? Water shortages, power cuts, potholes, crumbling schools, hospitals, zamas. Do you feel like this is the city of gold? Or do you just go, way? I want to know from you, what is the service delivery issue impacting your area? Maybe tell us what's working, right? Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. What is working in your area? And how are we going to hold those in power accountable? What does your job description say? And does it actually match what you do? The Motor Industry Bargaining Council is investigating allegations that petrol attendants at a number of Astron and engine service stations in Johannesburg are being forced to perform extra duties like cleaning and gardening without additional pay, and the workers are complaining this is outside their job description. Remember, of course, those steers workers who are being made to clean people's gardens. This is clearly becoming an issue. In the World View, Adam Gilchrist has a story about an Irishman who has lived in the US for more than 20 years, was detained by ICE for 5 months, despite being married to a US citizen and waiting for his green card. And he describes the Texas detention center where he was held as filthy, overcrowded, and torture. I'm not sure there's anything that's going to take me to the US of A in the next couple of years, never mind few months, next couple of years. Those World Cup tickets, is not make sure. When was the last time, and what was the last DVD you watched? South Africa's last remaining, it must be, there might be one or two more elsewhere, but certainly in Joburg, it was one of the last remaining rental stores. It's called the Majestic in Greenside. They say more or less physical rentals have disappeared because of streaming, but they also say they survive because they offer rare titles many of us can't find online on streaming platforms. Remember Mr. Video? What were the other ones? Was Mr. Video? It was Video Town. There was a great store in Melville called DVD Gurus, and they specialized in those art film movies that you couldn't find anywhere else. Yeah.
Did you return DVDs? Were you guilty of it?
Hey, guys, there's a Video Town somewhere.
If there's any story that
I
proves
should be
that
phoning.
South Africans are loyal people, is that the taking of the video, then bringing it back to take loyal people.
Loyal people, yes, we are. We are, Amo. Jennifer Aniston, the Friends star, was born on this day in 1969. Most notably, of course, we knew her first as Rachel Green on Friends, but she's gone on to do other work, including work on The Morning Show, which is one of my favorite shows on Apple at the moment. Happy birthday to Jennifer Aniston.
702.
The newspapers.
The newspapers, Sfiso Zulu, I've already mentioned the front page of the Sowetan.
Yeah.
Dry, beloved city of darkness. So there's no water and we're in the dark. And it's got a picture of a man carrying water bottles near a water tanker. This is in the Emerentia area of Johannesburg. The Citizen says it's day zero for many Joburg residents enduring prolonged water outages as reservoirs fail and there's tanker chaos that's fueling conflict. People now fighting each other because Usfiso Zulu had 10 5-liter bottles and he's taken more than his fair share. And by the time I get my turn, there's no water left.
Yeah. And that's why shops like Checkers, they limit the number of bottles that you can come with to get the water from the water filter. You can't come with more than 4, I think 5-liter bottles of water. So you have to have like 3 or 2 so that other people can have access to water. Yeah.
Maybe let's talk about international news.
Yeah. Bloomberg is running a story about how AI is getting more advanced and is quietly reshaping the global scam economy, particularly for people who are looking for jobs in Southeast Asia. So what's happening is that cyber criminals are much more smarter now. They are advancing their adverts as far as job adverts are concerned. But these are fake job adverts. They have evolved and they are much more slicker and the adverts are much more polished. So you are online looking for a job, you're vulnerable, and you look at this advert and it looks legitimate. There are no typos. Everything seems legitimate and polished, and you apply for this job and they call you back. They even use AI voices to call you back, and there's a prompt where they ask you questions and they give you the short interview, and you think you're speaking to an actual person on the other side. And you give them your information and they get access to your information, your personal details, and they use that to scam you. I think a couple of days ago, you did a story about cyber criminals in Bryanston who are scamming people across the world. So this is a similar scam that is happening, and they are playing on people's vulnerabilities.
Gosh, some might say just being a resident of Joburg, you're being scammed every day, hey?
EWN Business.
Constructive criticism. Or is it just criticism in general? Are you good at taking it? What prompts this question?
Now, with just a day before the State of the Nation address, Bongani, the Standard Bank Group says it's important government does not waste the wins of 2025. Last year, SA was removed from the grey list, got better credit ratings, a reform-focused budget, lower inflation, and a stronger rand. So a lot went quite well last year, but the lender says President Cyril Ramaphosa and his cabinet should use the positive momentum to change the country's fortunes around. Now, Standard Bank's chief economist Gulam Balim delivered the bank's economic outlook for 2026, saying he expects the president to outline how to improve municipal services in the country and solve the problem of crime and policing. Standard Bank says that things like water and electricity woes pose a risk to credit ratings in the country as infrastructure bottlenecks create social instability and hurt business activity. The lender expects 1.4% growth this year for South Africa, with 3 interest rate cuts on the cards.
All right, your indicators.
The rand at 15 rand 88 against the US dollar, 18 rand 92 against the euro, and 21 rand 69 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is up more than 0.5% at $5,053 an ounce, while platinum is at $2,143. Brent crude at $69.31 a barrel. More business after 7.
Time now for your latest Eyewitness News. Sfisa Zulu, what do you have? Good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The family of an inmate who died after allegedly being assaulted by 5 prison wardens is concerned justice won't prevail. Dumsani Ngwenya succumbed to his injuries in 2022 after being beaten allegedly by prison officials at the Johannesburg prison. The men are out on bail standing trial. Ngwenya's family is now worried because a state witness who's also a prisoner withdrew from testifying yesterday due to safety concerns. Jabuli Lembata reports.
The attorneys of the accused revealed to the court that the witnesses who were meant to testify that day had discussed that before they do, they would raise other issues they have with the prison to the court. After the first witness, Spelele Quvani, was told his issues could only be addressed separately, he withdrew from the witness list. The defense attorneys suggested a postponement to a date when the state will be certain its witnesses will testify and not deal with their personal queries.
Clear to me, Your Lordship, that they are discussing the merits of the matter. And all the state's witnesses have now impugned their evidence. Their evidence cannot be relied upon, and I would struggle to understand how they can even proceed with the trial in this matter if witnesses are actively discussing the merits of.
The matter resumes this morning for the allocation of a new prosecutor after she was accused of incompetence by a witness. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
At least 1,000 learners in Gauteng have still not been placed in schools nearly 2 months after the start of the academic year. Frustrated parents were forced to queue at district offices of the Education Department last month after more than 3,000 pupils remained without school. Gauteng Education MEC Matume Chilwane says his department is working to resolve the delay.
The delay is the acquisition of the mobile classrooms. We've had quite a challenge with getting mobile classrooms promptly so that we are able to place these learners. But in the interim, we have begun to move these learners into temporary spaces up until we get these classrooms into the school, fully compliant, meeting the norms and standards. Then we can take the kids into those particular schools.
Young people in Khayelitsha say rampant extortion is making it nearly impossible to get small businesses off the ground. This came out during a presidential youth roundtable led by Deputy President Paul Mashatile yesterday, ahead of the State of the Nation address tomorrow. Young people raised concerns affecting their communities, including high unemployment, gun violence, and the growing problem of business extortion. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Khayelitsha Business Forum Secretary Thokozile Kalando says there was renewed hope last year when government introduced the 500 million rand spaza shop support fund. She says many unemployed youth believe the fund would allow them to start their own businesses. However, Kalando says that optimism has since faded as business owners are being targeted by extortionists demanding protection fees.
We are feeling like SAPS is failing us because they keep on saying communities must report. We report, police are linking the information, what must be done.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And government says rhino poaching has dropped by 16% since last year. The Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment has revealed that 352 rhinos were killed nationally compared to 420 the previous year. Mpumalanga recorded the highest losses. Camray Clark reports.
The Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment says its rapid and coordinated approach is helping drive down rhino poaching. While the Kruger National Park recorded 175 rhinos poached last year, the ministry says overall killings continue to show a downward trend. Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Willie Okamp, credit the successful decline in part to Esimvela's dehorning program.
This also includes the anti-poaching efforts of the private sector, especially that of private rhino owners, who remain great partners in this fight against rhino poaching.
Okamp says South Africa will continue strengthening cross-border collaboration to combat poaching and the trafficking of rhino horn. Camray Clark, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 17 and 18 degrees, peaking at highs between 29 and 31.
And in the traffic, we've got queuing traffic along the Mark 1 North. This is between Boyson's Road and Car Street. There's also queuing traffic along the M2 West. This is between Heidelberg Road and the Crownton of peak time delays there, as well as on the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and the Kiluli's turnoff.
The top story, the family of an inmate who died after allegedly being assaulted by 5 prison wardens is concerned justice will not prevail.
When choosing a medical aid, pay close attention to the benefits. Like the benefit of skipping phone calls and pharmacy queues with the convenience of the Discovery Health app. The benefit of one app that makes finding the right doctor, booking an appointment, submitting a script, having medicine delivered, and your claim paid simply effortless. Just another benefit that makes Discovery Health Medical Scheme for your health like no other. Speak to your financial advisor or visit discovery.co.za to get a quote. Discovery Health Medical Scheme is a registered medical scheme. The Discovery Health app is brought to members by Discovery Health.
Modern romance is complicated. Swiping left, swiping right, decoding situationships. Flying should not be part of the drama. That's why at Fly Sapphire, there are no mixed signals, just low fares from only 570 Rand. That's right. If low fares are your love language, we speak it fluently. Get to flysapphire.co.za and use our low fare finder to track down the best flights this month of love. It's hassle-free flying from the heart. Fly Sapphire for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
This message is brought to you by Eskom, redefining for a better future.
Hey South Africa, want to keep your lights on and save money? Let's use electricity wisely. It's easier than you think. Switch off lights when you leave a room, unplug chargers and appliances, and use energy-saving bulbs. They last longer and use less power. Every little bit helps for your home, your wallet, and our planet.
Let's make it a habit and use electricity wisely. Eskom.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Harith General Partners confirming they're buying Fly Sapphire. Kirby Gordon is the Chief Marketing Officer at Fly Sapphire.
If one will recall back as far as 2019, there was a proposed deal that didn't go ahead between Fly Sapphire and Airlink, which was already an indication of the intention of the shareholders to exit the asset that they had created. Obviously, as seed investors, they had used a certain amount of money to develop the airline, had created an asset of value, and I guess to their benefit, that increased in value quite considerably through COVID.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, returning as proud investment theme sponsor of the African Mining Indaba 2026. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. Up to 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. So send us an answer based on something that piqued your interest during the show, a tidbit of information, and for that you'll win 1,000 Rand. Simply WhatsApp us your name and that answer to 072-702-1702. Then later, someone else will ask a question to win 2,000 Rand. Remember, you stand a better chance of being selected to give us today's answer if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. Yes, Bongani, you are correct. We're going for elections. You'll hear these politicians. They're so irritating. Where's the DA is in the GNU. It's no longer ANC's government, it's GNU's government, including the DA. Actually, it's ANC and DA's government. You know, the funny thing, the question that I should ask when Bongan is that Minister Majodina is the Minister of Water and Sanitation, and Steenhuisen is the Minister of Agriculture. Minister Majodino with these leaks of water and all those things, that means it's affecting John Steenhuisen not to give the farmers the water that they need. We have a foot and mouth disease now. We need water more than anything. Yet they don't criticize each other on that part of the GNU.
Bongani and the team, Bradley and Men around back. Bongani, the water issue, it's a problem. The water issue, it's a problem. The leaks is everywhere, and that is affecting the distribution of water to everyone. I'm currently staying in Midvaal, next to the dam, but I can tell you each and every weekend we don't have enough water to supply the houses. So that's how bad it is. So it's bad. It's bad, honestly. Nice show as always, guys. Thanks.
Morning, Bungles. It just goes to show we're in a local election year, and look what the ANC has allowed. You can say, oh, there's a government of national unity. Really? Who controls whether we fix the infrastructure when your budget cannot support maintenance because you're paying 60% of your income on wages to fat cats that were deployed that don't even have the qualifications to make the decisions? You're never going to get your city right. So I propose everyone working in government reapplies for their jobs. Let's get an independent auditor in, KPMG, the likes of those, rehire everyone.
What are your water woes? Today, the 11th of February, water-deprived residents from several suburbs are going to be embarking on a protest around water issues. There's going to be a partial block-off of Main Road from 6 a.m. This is in Melville or Westdean, so around about 7. They're going to be in that area. The same thing in Parktown West, around the corner of Jan Smuts and Seymour Road. Emerentia is going to be a little later on this afternoon, Judith and Barry Herzog. Amo, you've got a personal reflection on this?
Oh, I do indeed, Bongani. My kids' school has been running on, Jojo tank water for weeks on end, and they've tried everything to try and get the kids to come to school. But yesterday they sent a message to say, please keep your kids at home because there's absolutely nothing we can do anymore. Even the parents that live within the area,
they don't have water.
They don't have water to provide the school with water because the last option was for parents to bring water in bottles for drinking and washing hands because toilet water was there. But today, unfortunately, no water at all. So kids have to stay home. That means that
you now have to make a plan.
I have to make a plan
how they're going to be looked after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
EWN Sport.
Let's talk about more fun things. Cindy Paluta's here.
Hello, Bongani.
We're all washed and clean in the studio. Thankfully, we had water this morning.
I have got water, but yesterday I did see a dad and his sons carrying a whole lot of 5 litres of water down Barry Herzog in Greenside towards the mosque to use the water there. And I was just like, guys, what is going on? Honestly, because water is a basic, it's our right. We have a right to water.
Yeah. Let's talk about Man United.
Yes, and their rights to winning. Did you see that story about the guy who was only going to cut his hair if Man United won 5 games in a row? And he's been growing it since the start of 2024. And it is a huge brown curly mop. And everybody, I think, needed Man United to win last night for him. Not for the club, for him. And then they drew with West Ham last night. 1-0, Sheshko scoring in the 96th minute. And I think they had, United had this whole thing planned where I think they were going to get Michael Carrick to shave his hair after the next game because you weren't at home last night.
So does he start again?
Yeah, so the hair just stays until they've got 5 games in a row. This guy might die with that hair. Anyway, they stay 4th on the table, 1 ahead of Chelsea, who squandered a 2-goal lead in a 2-2 draw with Leeds. Leeds scored 2 goals with 6 minutes, and Palmer missed a sitter in stoppage time. Bournemouth came from a goal down to beat a 10-man Everton 2-1. Tottenham Hotspur lost 2-1 to Newcastle, their 15th defeat under manager Thomas Frank. Spurs are 16th on the table, 5 points away from the relegation zone. Here's Frank.
I understand it's easy to point on me, but I also think it's never only the head coach, all the ownership, all the players, all the staff, is everyone. If you do something right, you will build something that can last. Of course, we are not in a top position now. Everyone knows what position we are in and what we need to improve and what we need to do better, and that's what we're working very hard on.
Nedbank Cup last night, Amazulu through to the last 16. They beat a 10-man Polokwane City 2-1. Milford needed penalties to beat Soweto Super United after their game finished 1-1. The draw for the last 16 is today. It was a dramatic finish for the Proteas women. They beat Pakistan by 5 wickets on the very last ball of the match in the first T20. Chasing 181, the Proteas women got off to a flying start thanks to Wolfart, 61 from 38. And then drama at the close, needing 2 off the last ball. Reyneke on debut smashed a 6 for the win. Today, the Proteas men are playing their second match, the T20 World Cup against Afghanistan. It starts in under an hour from now. Also today, Australia against Ireland, the late game England against the West Indies. Yesterday, Netherlands beat Namibia by 7 wickets. New Zealand cruised to a 10-wicket win over the UAE. Pakistan beating USA by 32 runs. And in rugby, All Blacks lock Fabian Holland will have surgery on his dislocated shoulder this week. He's expected to be back in time for the test of the Springboks in August, while in Six Nations News, England captain Marco Toji will start against Scotland on Saturday. He came off the bench last week. Cindy Polita, Eyewitness News Sport.
There's much to say about where South Africa is, and even more about where it's going.
On Thursday, 12 February, President Cyril Ramaphosa delivers the State of the Nation address, live from Cape Town City Hall.
702 Cape Talk and Eyewitness News will be there, analyzing every word and bringing you the news as it breaks.
From the build-up to the address to the conversations that follow.
Join Clement Maniatela and Mandy Wiener for live coverage and in-depth analysis from 6 to 10 p.m.
Live on the radio or live stream on the Prime Media Plus app. Sona 2026. Thursday, 12 February.
Live on 702 Cape Talk and EWN.
New year, new you. Same trusted WeBuyCars since 2001. So whether you're buying or selling, WeBuyCars makes the process simple and seamless. Simply visit webuycars.co.za to complete the Sell My Car form for an offer, or browse through thousands of vehicles of all shapes and sizes, ready to buy, sell, or trade in. Visit webuycars.co.za or one of their branches nationwide.
Let's hear from Chantal and Mel, owners of Jelly Body and Nail Studio, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We were with our previous insurer for about 4 years, and when we decided to switch, it was actually a flawless process. It definitely pays to switch.
For beauty salons, convenience stores, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
The Checkers Extravaganza is now on. Save extra on new deals every week. Like Coca-Cola Original Taste Less Sugar Soft Drink, 2 litres, 2 for 45 Rand. Nestle Mini Chocolate Fun Bags, any 2 for 89 Rand. And Clover Butro Full Cream Modified Butter Spread, 500 grams, 2 for 159 Rand. Valid until 15 February 2026. Only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Morning, Uncle Bongani. My name is Simpiwe. I'm 13 years old. I go to Maranatha Christian School. And when I grow up, I would like to become a lawyer. And I'm very excited to play today's show.
Let's see if you can win 10,000 Rand, Councillor.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't ask them for 500 Rand, no doubt delays in the Melville Westine area. That march about to take off at 7, Amo?
That's correct, Bongani. Main Road will be partially affected due to this march, so please be on the lookout there or try to avoid. You can still use Berryhertog, as the Berryhertog march will take place later on in the evening. And then, of course, if you are traveling within the Emmarentia area, that's later on. And then in the Parktown West area, Jan Smuts Avenue and Seymour Road heavily backed up due to the gathering of protesters in that area. So please be on the lookout out and be mindful of people marching along the route. We'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
This month is all about love, but the flight attendant won't be feeling the love if you're late for check-in. Fortunately, the Outsurance pointsmen are there to ease congestion so you can get to the airport on time. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Let's give away some cash. Of course, up next is the Africa Report. We are focusing on what's unfolding in Burkina Faso. But in the meantime, let's play with Simpiwe, who wants to be a lawyer a little later on in life. Simpiwe, why do you want to be a lawyer?
I would like to become a lawyer because I believe that the South African justice system is failing a lot of people, and I would like to help in that and try and make a difference.
You know, when I hear people like you at your age speaking like that, Simpiwe, I think the future is bright, hey? You are the future. Good luck to you. KG, let's start the clock. What is 16 plus 11?
27.
Correct. Spell the word formula.
Sorry, please repeat the question.
Spell the word formula.
Similar or formula?
Formula.
Similar.
No, formula.
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 Correct. True or false? Citrus fruits are good sources of vitamin C.
True.
Correct. Which sport does Kalen Swart play for South Africa?
Pass.
Soccer. Complete the saying as busy as a what?
Sorry?
Complete the saying as busy as a what?
As a bee.
Correct. On which continent are the United Arab Emirates?
Asia.
Correct. Give the present. I can't complete the question. I think formula tripped us up there a little, so we wasted a little bit of time on that. But you know what? Still had a really decent round. 500 Rand is what you walk away with, Simpiwe. You're age 10 to 13. Send us a WhatsApp voice note, and we could be calling you to play the Whiz Quiz.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
On 702.
702.
Coming up.
Burkina Faso is the focus of our Africa Report this Wednesday. The military junta there, led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré, calls what they are now doing a reset. No rallies, no debates, no opposition, pure silence. They've banned every single political party. It comes as armed groups linked to Islamic State in the Greater Sahara and Al-Qaeda control large parts of the country. So elections have been postponed, now pushed to 2029. Is this about security or is this about silencing dissent? We're joined by African geopolitics analyst and member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development Foresight Expert Group, Kofi Kwaku. Kofi, always a pleasure to have you on the show. So this banning of political parties in Burkina Faso, is it about security or is it about silencing opposition voices?
It is both. And I think both because it is important to see across history that most parties or most governments, especially military governments that have come in, have been under pressure. I mean, especially in Burkina Faso and I would say in West Africa in general, in what is called Francophone African countries. Most of these leaders are under pressure. And when you take power by the military, it is already, undemocratic. So the rule of using force to run is important. However, I must say, right across the West Africa, and in fact, across Africa, President Ibrahim Traoré has been seen as a youngster who is bringing in new ways of running a country. But this new way is really shaking and disrupting the old idea of democracy. How do we run a country? What do we need? People have been questioning the fact that, we must secure our sovereignty before we can have economic growth. Yeah. And that leads to getting rid of a lot of interferences, which means political parties and foreign assets are in a country that are undermining whatever they want to do. So they're taking drastic measures. I mean, it's both concerning, but at the same time, you've got to give them time to figure out what's going on. So the key element here is to be vigilant.
It's a difficult one because, as I understand it, some of these groups control large parts of the country. Does that mean then Traore's control is limited to Ouagadougou and a couple of other places? And how do you dispel the concerns of militant groups if you then silence them in this way, ostensibly even for security reasons?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's very difficult, but you have to be able to do something that allows people for unity. It doesn't mean you got to ban political parties, but one drastic way to really not shut down groups is to make sure that unity is reached. And most of the time, it is difficult today in our modern world to accept that you have to ban political parties and other views. But they are trying something that's really, not that it's new, we have to be very careful. We know but in history, if you go to the 1930s with the fascist government and groups like that, the comparison is easy to make. So we just fall into that default mode. Forget it, it's not going to work. The only big concern we have is to say people have to speak out. If they have something to say, let them speak out, but you can't just ban the parties. But they're trying something, and as I said again, you got to be very vigilant. If we see that, for example, if Captain Ibrahim Traore is changing his title to general, I would say, wait a minute, something is just not going to work.
It's difficult, though, to tell people not to take to the bush if you prevent them from participating in the political system, as it were. But as we understand, of course, these groups were already militant. He's cultivated a large online following, hasn't he, Captain Traore? He's being seen as a kind of modern Thomas Sankara. Do you buy that?
Yes, indeed. I mean, he's been doing this very well. Not only that, but what I usually call, in Latin, it's said, monstra mihi pecunia, which means show me the money. And he's been showing the money, which means he's building things, he's involving people, having the resources of the country to help people in the country. And I think these are the things that are now telling people, look, looks like we have something here that we need to support. However, as I said, we still have to be very vigilant and careful. And it's a tricky balance to have. But so far, it's got a huge, not just following online, but also in West Africa. It's unbelievable to see what's going on.
The fragility of democracy, not only in West Africa and the wider Sahel region, but I suppose around the continent at large, is a conversation to be had. The African Union seems awfully silent about it.
Well, indeed, the African Union, it's very, I wouldn't say it's a toothless organization, but it hasn't shown any mettle that is strong enough. And in fact, most democracies that we've seen since the 60s, or what we call since liberation, haven't demonstrated or delivered something significant to their people. If you take the three horsemen, as we call them, extreme poverty, unemployment, and inequalities, so far, and even if we extend it right down to our country here in South Africa, we can see that democracies are really struggling, and people are trying to figure out, what do we do with this? Because after you elect somebody or a group of people, they're there for 5 years, a specific term. You can't get rid of them. They do all sorts of things, and that frustration is forcing people to figure out what kind of mixed model we need.
Yeah, and many look to places like Rwanda and say perhaps that could be a solution. Appreciate your time. You and I are going to keep chatting over the next couple of weeks. Kofi Kwaku, analyst of African and Global South geopolitics.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Well, the big interview as such today focuses on exactly that issue, dissatisfaction with the political class and their ability to deliver. Marches all around Johannesburg today over water. We'll give you the latest as we have it. After this Eyewitness News brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand.
This is EWN.
Joburgers say enough is enough with the water woes.
Everything cannot be blamed on an old infrastructure because we have video evidence of water gushing down the streets.
And more information emerges about Josco's controversial acting CEO. 702.
702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702. 702.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Some Joburg residents are expected to protest in Melville today over prolonged water outages. Areas including Westdean, Parktown West and Emiratia have been affected by the Johannesburg commando meter system, which has been facing supply challenges due to demand. Melville resident Liz Meyering says it's been almost a month since they had seen water in their taps.
Everything cannot be blamed on an old infrastructure because we have video evidence of water gushing down the streets in this area as well, where simply pipes had burst that had been reported often more than a year ago and have not been fixed.
Despite the end of a 2-day Joburg water employee strike, residents are being warned that the system is still strained and cannot meet the demand. Mongezi Gogo reports.
Joburg Water says a number of Midrand systems have shown signs of recovery and are now supplying fairly to adequately. These include Grand Central, Robbie Ridge, Ranyasfontein, the Development Bank and Stain City reservoirs and towers. However, other systems remain under pressure, with Ranyas Reservoir and President Park Tower still supplying but at declining levels, increasing the risk of low pressure, especially in high-lying areas. In Johannesburg Central System, a number of reservoirs, including Alexandra Park and Berea, remain closed under operating protocols to allow levels to recover, meaning no water for some supply zones. Joburg Water says interventions are being implemented to balance the system, with alternative water being provided where possible on a regional basis. Mongezi Gogo, Eyewitness News.
The city of Johannesburg has paid nearly 1 million rand to a subcontractor for the construction of a wall that was never built. EWN has obtained internal documents in which the city's former MMC for Human Settlements, Anthea Leach, raises concerns about the apparent defrauding of the metro. In the letter, Leach alleges the Johannesburg Property Company's acting CEO, Themba Matibe, approved the payment to build the wall at an old age home about 3 years ago. At the time, Matibe was serving as Chief Operating Officer and allegedly instructed the subcontractor not to proceed with building the wall despite having been paid. Alfara Mushwana has the story.
Former Human Settlements MMC Anthea Leach revealed in a letter to the Johannesburg Social Housing Company that the subcontractor submitted fraudulent photos of a wall built elsewhere, claiming it was constructed at the intended site. This triggered a wide-ranging forensic investigation into the irregularities surrounding the 1 million rand paid to build the wall. Leach also suggested the entity's former COO Themba Matibe interfered by trying to recover the money from the contractor without legal advice, which is said to have been an interference with an active investigation. Although the entity's board approved and noted a proposal for Matibe's suspension, he was never suspended and was instead promoted to acting CEO. Meanwhile, the entity says its internal investigation found no prima facie evidence that Matibe was involved in the plot to defraud the city. Matibe was also recently arrested after he was found with a substantial amount of cash at his home. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
Thabo Bester's lawyers say they will be returning to court after their failed bid to have him transferred from the Bongani maximum facility. Bester approached the High Court yesterday on an urgent basis, but his matter was struck off the roll. They are challenging his transfer to the country's only maximum security facility. Khomozo Modise has more.
In her judgment yesterday, Judge Mamuluku Kubushi was critical of the stringent timeframes that Thabo Bester gave correctional services, only affording them a day to file answering papers. Bester's lawyers insist the matter warranted extreme urgency because they are not able to consult with him for his main trial, which returns to the Free State High Court next month. His attorney, Inulafatseng Morero, says based on the judge's reasons for striking their matter from the urgent court roll, they will be bringing another application.
Remember, the only issue that the judge has with us today is the time frames. Because the application was issued last week, Monday, and then we set it down for hearing.
Bester's lawyers say his transfer from the Bongani prison is crucial for his ability to plan his defense for his main prison break trial, which returns to the Free State High Court next month. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And at least 10 people have been killed in a remote part of Western Canada, including 8 who were shot at a school and 2 others found dead at a residence. Police say the attack involved an active shooter at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School in British Columbia province. Officers say a person believed to be the shooter was also found dead and what appears to be a self-inflicted injury. The motive for the shooting is being investigated. Ken Floyd from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police says the situation is rapidly evolving.
We have multiple layers of support coming for our students, for our teachers, for our community of Tumbler Ridge, for our front line and front first responders that were part of this unfolding event.
Gold is trading at $5,051.42 an ounce. The rand is at $15.90 to the dollar, $21.72 to the pound, $18.94 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $69.18 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the Mike-1 North. This is between Boysons Road and Carr Street. And then if you are traveling in Spreadview, do expect delays on the N3 North. We've got roadworks taking place right near Heidelberg Road. Delays coming out of Leondale Road. There's also queuing traffic on the R59 North. This is between Klipprivier Drive and Swartkopies Road due to an accident.
And in your sport, the Proteas men's second game at the T20 World Cup is against Afghanistan. It starts in under half an hour from now. Proteas women beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in a first T20. Man United and Chelsea were held to draws last night while Spurs and Everton lost. And at home in the Nedbank Cup, Amazulu and Milford through to the last 60.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 31 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Some Joburg residents are expected to protest in Melville today over prolonged water outages.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Wait till you hear how much money OUTsurance saves 30-year-old Dineo on her car insurance.
I'm saving 1,094 rands.
That's an incredible monthly saving of 1,094 rand on Dineo's 2025 Kia Sonet. SMS out to 45142. Here's 63-year-old Almero.
We do save 417 rand. That's about 5,000 rand a year.
That's an awesome saving on Almero's 2021 Ford Ranger. Get a quote now. SMS out to 45142. With OUTsurance, after 3 claim-free years, you get an out bonus.
Can't wait for that. A little bit of cash for a girl to have a little bit of fun, eh?
Always getting something out. You also get 5 million rand third-party liability cover, covering damage to the other person's vehicle in an accident. How much could OUTsurance save you? Get a quote now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online. Calling all the brightest minds in Gauteng. Time to flex your general knowledge smarts in the brain of 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
It is a Wednesday, the 11th of February, the year of our Lord 2026. Do note, by the way, Brain of 702 this morning and only this morning will be just after 8:15 and not at 10 to 9 as is usual. That's because, of course, today we're going to be focusing on yet another corporate that cares at 10 to 9. The newspapers are saying it just as it is. The front page of the Sowetan has a man carrying water bottles walking towards a tanker in Emmarentia, dry, beloved city of darkness. Water, power cuts continue to make life difficult for Joburgers. Businesses operating at a loss. Day zero for many, says the Citizen. Joburg residents endure prolonged water outages as reservoirs fail. There's tanker chaos as now many are turning on each other. Anger flows in Melville, Westdean over outages, is what some of the news channels are reporting. I mean, it's just frustrating. We've been asking you a very simple question. What are your water woes in Joburg this morning?
Good morning, Bongani and team. Bongani, I'm in Ekuruleni. Believe me or not, during COVID 2021, 2022, 2023, in the extension 19, where I stayed, we hardly had water at all. Bongani, would have water at least maybe once a day, maybe for those few hours, and then that's it. For 3 years in a row, we've complained, we've written to the councillor, nothing was done. It's only now that things are starting to get back into, the normal, even though we still do have water cuts, but it's better than COVID.
Good morning, Bongani. I'm staying in Shoshanguve, Block VV. Since the beginning of the year, Bongani, a week hardly passes without us having water. We don't have water even now. It's been 5 days without water. And what we get from the municipality is those notices, use water sparingly. How do you use water sparingly if you don't have any water? And it's getting worse every day, Bongani. So they are failing us. And we've got a councillor in our WhatsApp group, community group. She's keeping quiet. People are asking her what is happening. She's keeping quiet. No update, nothing. ANC is failing us. I think we must vote better next time. Abraham Shoshanguve, thank you very much.
Bongani, for some of us that are from Northwest, every municipality, there's not even a single one that you can say reliably provides water. We knew that this issue is going to come, and I said this to a couple of my friends back in as early as 2015, 2010, that you're going to have an issue in Johannesburg because infrastructure, maintenance, and basic municipality services are not being provided, and decay is going to come your way. They don't know they're insulated. Now it has happened. It's only going to get worse. Trust me.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
13 minutes after 7. The other big story, of course, has been the appearance of Paul O'Sullivan before that SAPS ad hoc committee in Parliament. And he at some point yesterday threatening to withdraw. He initially said he didn't want to answer any questions related to his business affairs and his private life before 1990. The members of Parliament challenged that, telling him he couldn't say what questions, he couldn't dictate to them what questions he could and could not answer. And it's just one of those that made me sit back and think, hang on a minute. Now, to be fair, there are probably as many reasons to dislike Paul O'Sullivan, or at least to ask questions about who he is and what he may represent, as there are kilometers between here and Timbuktu. But he is there to help MPs get to the bottom of corruption within SAPS specifically. And he is the guy who will tell the world, for as long as anybody will listen, that he was instrumental in nabbing our former police commissioner, Jackie Silibi. In fact, one of his points yesterday was the fact that the state capture or these shenanigans have been ongoing within SAPS since those days. And so much of the focus yesterday from MPs was around his qualifications. Was he a spy? Did he work for MI5 or MI6? At some point, they didn't even know what the difference was. And he says, well, I'm not here to give you a lecture on that. Can we focus on why I'm here and you dealing with the problems? You don't have to like me, right? We don't always interview people on the basis that we like them. I don't have to agree with Peter Groenewold's politics. It's quite clear, of course, I don't. But he is the Minister of Correctional Services under this GNU arrangement. Do we then, instead of asking him about what he's doing to make our prisons safer, focus on his politics? It's just a question. And I want to take you back to this day. Remember, ANC news anchor Clarence Gator reporting on the world's first sighting of Nelson Mandela on this day in 1990.
There's Mr. Mandela, Mr. Nelson Mandela, a free man taking his first steps into a new South Africa. Mrs. Winnie Mandela next to him, waving to the crowds. Hand in hand, they leave the Victor Verster prison. Officials, marshals of the National Reception Committee trying to get the people, and a salute from Mr. Nelson Mandela, his wife Winnie, greeting the people outside the fences of the Victor Verster prison. That is the man who the world has been waiting to see.
Amandla! In Africa! I greet you all in the name of peace, democracy, and freedom for all.
Peace, man. I greet you in the name of peace. It still gives me chills just to listen to it. Bringing things to today, the Agriculture Minister, John Steenhuisen, has removed a vet from the ministerial task team after he publicly criticized government's handling of the foot and mouth disease outbreak. That's raising concerns about silencing dissent during this critical animal health crisis. If you intend to fly to St. Helena, one of the world's most remote inhabited islands, well, you can't, because flights have been suspended due to safety concerns at the airport, and that's cut the main air link to the outside world for St. Helena. In the meantime, if you go to the States, newly released Department of Justice departments show Donald Trump spoke to Palm Beach police in 2006 about Jeffrey Epstein and acknowledged that his activities with underage girls were widely known. The National Consumer Council announced a recall of butternut peanut butter products due to unsafe levels of aflatoxin, which can cause nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. And on this day, one of pop music's greatest voices, in fact, she was known as The Voice, Whitney Houston, she died on this day in 2012 at the age of 48 after being found in a bathtub at a Beverly Hills hotel. It's news that sent shockwaves around the world. I was depressed for days.
7:02. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by South African Airways. Make your move this Valentine's. Book your romantic getaway at flysaa.com. There's a crash in Benoni, Amo.
That's correct, Bongani. It's along the N12 West. It happened right near Tom Jones. It's causing about a 20-minute hold-up. This is as you come out of a Snake Road. Please do expect about 20 minutes, as I said, and try to use the N17 West instead as of the N12. And then if you're traveling on the N3 North, we've got delays between Leondale Road and Heidelberg Road due to roadworks along this route. Please be on the lookout there and approach with care. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Valentine's weekend is almost here, and this is your sign. Make the move. South African Airways has amazing fares to your favorite destinations. Fly to Cape Town from just 1,144 Rand, Durban from 690, Gqeberha 655. That's just the start. You can explore even more destinations. Go to flysaa.com. Make the move. Surprise your better half. Make it a Valentine's weekend to remember. Book now at flysaa.com or contact your nearest travel agency. T's and C's apply.
Get the advantage this tax year end with Sage. No stress, no scrambling. Just seamless HR and payroll that keeps you ahead of UIF, PAYE, and employment equity. All in one smart cloud solution. With automated compliance, real-time accuracy, and simplified HR and payroll. Give your business the tax year end advantage. That's Sage. Visit tax.sage.co.za today.
What's with the camouflage, Dwarf? I'm going hunting. Just me, nature, and my most underrated off-roader, a rental car. Hunting? You could fit that little car in your backpack, Dwarf. I sit in the driver's seat. Baggage at the back, chairs on the roof. The kudu is going to get in and strap its own seatbelt, Savvy. Could do with more legroom, Dwarf. Go hunt for a new 4x4 at WeBuy Cars. They got great deals. Oh, shot, Savvy.
Don't be doof, be savvy. We buy cars geared for that big trip, geared for you.
Smart Steve from Momentum. Hello.
Stevie, it's Clinton Myers, the Minister of National Treasures.
Mr. Minister, how can Momentum Insure help you?
This economy is not helping with the cost of my gusheshe, my tires, man.
Just get Momentum Insure's safety returns and get up to 30% cash back, even if you claim.
Is it true?
Stru's Bob, Mr. Minister. Visit momentum.co.za or call 0860 006 784. Momentum Insure, keeping you safe on your journey to success. Momentum Insure is an authorized non-life insurer. T's and C's apply.
7:02.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Today we're focusing on the water issues. We told you today there is a march in the Melville Westine area in Emmarentia. There'll also be protests later today. Firstly, we've got Dr. Ferial Adam, who is an executive director at WaterCan. You are at that Melville area, that protest there. Main Street, I understand?
Good morning, Bongani. Actually, no. There's 3 protests today, and I'm at the one in Parktown on Jan Smuts Avenue.
And Seymour, yeah?
Yes, and then the other one is in Melville, and then this evening at 4 p.m. there will be one in Emmarentia, and it's all protests.
We've spoken about water issues, water wastage. How did we get here, Dr. Adam?
Sure, it's been coming for a long time, and it's what happens when you don't spend the right amount of money on maintenance over an extended period, and where you lose money because of corruption. So it's a combination of things, but right now I think this is evident that our system is failing, and if we don't act now to fix it, we are going to be in bigger trouble.
Dr. Adam, I want you to stay on the line. We've invited 702 landers around Joburg to call us in and tell us their water woes. I want you to listen, please, if you would, to the issues they raise, and we can maybe map a way forward. Just as a sample, we'll take Rose, who is in Malvern. Rose, you're a senior citizen. How long have you been without water?
Good morning. We're going on for our 3rd week now. And when I say we have no water, I don't mean low pressure. I mean not a drop. I'm a senior citizen, sir. You know, I'm 87 years old and I live alone. It is really quite a struggle. You know, they do send tanks periodically, with sometimes without warning. But when you queue for the water, you know, I've had 2 knee replacements. It's a problem standing for so long. And then there are people that come with these huge, big 25-liter things. Well, if I had one, if I could pick it up, I would probably also do that.
Sure, Rose.
You stand for ages there. And then the thing is, I have to get it into the car, I have to get it home, I have to get it out. And you know, just something else. When I've got lots of bottles of water, but it's cold water. For washing dishes, you have to heat the water. My electricity, I'm on prepaid. I'm using double the amount that I usually used to use. Otherwise, I put it on the gas stove, but that has also increased.
Sure. Rose, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, my mother is 87, and there's no way she's carrying even half a liter, never mind 25. Thank you for calling us. And this is exactly the issue, right? She's 87. She lives alone. This is what she has to deal with. Salam, you are in Rustenburg, but you've also had no water.
Yes, we don't have no water, and it's gone for 3 days now. Our councillor is trying our best to get some answers from the municipality. But the irony is, coming to work this morning, there's thousands and thousands of liters of water flowing down the street.
Yeah, isn't that the story for so many people? So this clearly isn't just a Joburg problem. You are in Rustenburg, Salam, and Havison is in Pretoria. What are you seeing there in the capital?
Morning. I'm just wanted to share that I think this water shortage issue is just a scam. I think political affairs are interfering with the people's lives, and they are saying that no, people are making a lot of usage of water. I don't think that's the case, because if according to my understanding, the more you use water, the more you pay. Because we have meter boxes here. We pay rent each and every month. So I don't understand where are the residents getting involved when they say that they.
Yeah, this issue of gaslighting residents and saying it's overconsumption when in fact it's the infrastructure and the lack of maintenance thereof. Neil, you're in Park Central. Where exactly is Park Central again?
Hi, Bongani. Yeah, it's a small suburb as part of the Greater Selby area. It's where where the old Tokstar driving used to be. There's like an industrial area on the top there.
Yes. I mean, how do businesses run in? Because that used to be a kind of center of manufacturing, right?
Correct. And I am a manufacturing business, and I'm surrounded by various other manufacturing businesses. And we haven't had water flowing out of our taps. But this is going on the 8th month.
You're kidding me. 8 months?
I'm not kidding. 8 months, boss. I'm not kidding you at all. This is how it is. This is fact. We've had a visit from Helen Ziller. We've expressed dissatisfaction and our total heartfulness, to be honest with you, of just, there's no water. Everybody has got little JoJo tanks, and we get very intermittent water deliveries from Joburg Water, I think it is, in tankers, maybe once every 3 days. And it's just a terrible situation. And nobody can tell us what the problem is, other than the fact that the pump or the pipes from the Hector Norris pump station are just simply not working.
What
and that's
business,
where it is.
What business do you run, Neil, if you can tell us? You don't have to give us the name, but what kind of...
We manufacture and we remanufacture clutches. We're a recycling business. My very close neighbor next door is a label printing business. He employs 42 people.
How do you continue without water for 8 months?
Well, you don't. You continue because you have to. I fetch water from home to keep my guys drinking and to flush the toilets. So I'm backwards and forwards to home with hundreds of little 5-litre jars of water and 20-litre jars. And at huge expense, I put a 1,000-litre JoJo tank with pumps and electronics and etc. to make it work. And this is how we live, Bongani. This is what happens. And, you know, I've written probably 200 emails to various people. My landlord has written emails. People around us, we've had various meetings, and just nothing happens. Nothing. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
All right. Neil, appreciate your call there. Dr. Adam, I mean, that's really a number of calls, different parts of Joburg, different parts of the province, even as far as Rustenburg, we've had calls. This is clearly not just a Joburg problem. And one of the things that drives me crazy, Dr. Adam, is this, and I understand there may be residents who are obviously using more than they should, but this gaslighting and being told of overconsumption, that's what makes it worse.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And the timing of those notifications. So, you know, if you saw some of the press releases or the releases that came from City of Joburg yesterday, which said, you know, that there isn't, the system is stable. That is what they said. And I can tell you the system is not stable. We have, as you've heard, large parts of Joburg, and this is a poster child for what's going on nationally. And it's why WaterCan has called for a national disaster to be declared on our and an infrastructural disaster. It doesn't have to be a climate one, but there's definitely, if we don't give it the attention it needs, it's a very slippery slope from here. So, I mean, I think that the gaslighting and telling people that you have to use less just angers them more. Look, no one's arguing that we live in a water-scarce country. No one's saying that we don't want to use less water. But you can't put that out when vast areas don't have water. And, you know, if you tell people when they have water, they probably would because they know that it's a difficult time.
Tell me, what do you want to hear from the president tomorrow?
Well, I don't want to hear open and, you know, nice words and good promises and big projects. I want to just hear how we're going to fix things on the ground. And I want to know that he understands that we have a national disaster. We're calling for a national disaster, and we're asking him to say that there's a national disaster on infrastructure. And until he does that, we also, you know, in the last Sona, he said, oh, we're going to ring fence money for water and sanitation. It's a year later. They all talk about ring fencing. They say we're doing it. We want to see the actual plan and to see that this happens this year. Now, it keeps being pushed down the line.
Do you think this Minister Phemi Majodina, is she the right one? Clouds are gathering?
No. I'm sorry. I do not think she is the right minister. For the minister to issue a statement saying that I wash my hands off the local governments, they've caused this, is completely disconnected to what the issues are we experiencing on the ground. So I think we need a minister who understands what it means for people when they don't have proper water and sanitation. You know, the slogan that the DWS uses or national government uses is that water is life and sanitation is dignity. I think those are just words because they don't really know how people are affected and how their dignity is being denied.
And many of them have water in their taps, don't they? Dr. Farrell Adam is a WaterCan Executive Director, and she is at that Parktown West protest.
EWN Business.
Let's talk business news now, Muteo Khwaripe. Pick n Pay flagging an earnings slump. I thought they were on the path to recovery here.
Yeah, that turnaround plan hitting a snag. Bongani Pick n Pay shares took a dive, plummeting nearly 14% in early trade yesterday after the retailer warned of a larger than expected loss for the year to March 2026. The company's turnaround efforts in its core South African supermarket slowed towards the end of 2025, with trading since September being below expectation due to a constrained market. This is especially during the Black Friday period. Pick n Pay's annual loss is now expected to widen by more than 20%. The company attributes this to the setback to a soft November, reflecting general market conditions in the country.
Your indicators?
The rand at 15 Rand 90 against the US dollar, 18 Rand 93 against the euro, and 21 Rand 72 against the British pound. Price of gold is up 0.5% at $5,048 an ounce, while platinum is up more than 2% at $2,133. Brent crude at $69.19 a barrel. More business after 8.
Let's go to KZN with Sfiso Zulu. Suspected criminals shot dead. Sfiso?
That's right, Bongani. This was between police during a shootout in Inanda in north of KZN. Officers say the group committed crimes and murders, attempted murders and robberies. Police acted on a tip-off where the group was hiding last night, but the gang allegedly defied orders. Spokesperson Robert Nichiwunda.
Police reacted to intelligence about the wanted suspects who were spotted at their hideout spot at a two-roomed shack house at Amatikwe. When police arrived at the scene, a shootout ensued, and during the shootout, 4 suspects were shot and fatally wounded. 4 firearms, all of which were pistols, and several rounds of ammunition were found in their possession.
The MK party views the State of the Nation address as a performative political exercise rather than a true reflection of the state of the country. Interim parliamentary leader Des van Rooyen says his party is not holding its breath that this year's address will be much different from any of the previous ones delivered by President Cyril Ramaphosa. It will be the second State of the Nation address that Ramaphosa will deliver on behalf of the Government of National Unity, and in which he will have to recognize the work done by ministers from other political parties. Lindsay Dentlinga reports.
The Umkhonto we Sizwe party says Sona has ceased to function as a credible instrument of national planning, accountability or state coordination. Parliamentary leader Des van Rooyen expects President Cyril Ramaphosa to once again make much of Operation Vulindlela when he delivers the Sona. This is government's reform program to get state-owned entities to function optimally.
That Vulindlela was not meant for our people because our people are still unemployed. And if there are any changes in employment figures, they are close to nothing.
Van Rooyen says government's developmental agenda remains reliant on apartheid-era infrastructure and is failing to create much-needed employment.
How are we going to build infrastructure if austerity is at the center of your allocation?
Van Rooyen says government is also failing to aggressively use its assets to generate more revenue for the state. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The family of an inmate who died after allegedly being assaulted by 5 prison wardens is concerned that justice will not prevail. Dumsani Ngwenya succumbed to his injuries in 2022 after being beaten allegedly by prison officials at the Johannesburg prison. The men are out on bail standing trial. Ngwenya's family is now worried because a state witness who is also a prisoner withdrew from testifying yesterday due to safety concerns. Jabuli Lembata reports.
The attorneys of the accused revealed to the court that the witnesses who were meant to testify that day had discussed that before they do, they would raise other issues they have with the prison to the court. After the first witness, Spelele Quvani, was told his issues could only be addressed separately, he withdrew from the witness list. The defense attorneys suggested a postponement to a date when the state will be certain its witnesses will testify and not deal with their personal queries.
Clear to me, George, that they are discussing the merits of the matter. And all the state's witnesses have now impugned their evidence. Their evidence cannot be relied upon. And I would struggle to understand how they can even proceed with the trial in this matter if witnesses are actively discussing the merits of.
The matter resumes this morning for the allocation of a new prosecutor after she was accused of incompetence by a witness. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
And the US will deploy 200 troops to Nigeria to train its armed forces in their fight against jihadist groups. The agreement has been confirmed by both countries. The soldiers, expected to arrive in the coming weeks, will provide training and technical guidance, including by helping their Nigerian counterparts coordinate operations that involve airstrikes and ground troops simultaneously. Nigeria has been under diplomatic pressure from the US over insecurity in the country, which US President Donald Trump has characterized as persecution and genocide against Christians. Abuja rejects allegations of Christian persecution in Nigeria, a framing long used by the US religious rights. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 31 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the N3 North between Heidelberg Road and Leondale Road. That's due to a major accident there. And if you're traveling through Germiston, do expect heavier traffic volumes along the N17 between Osborne Road and Heidelberg Road due to an accident as well as roadworks along the route.
The top story this hour: 4 wanted suspects have been killed in a shootout with police in KwaZulu-Natal.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Did you object to being asked questions by certain members who come from other parties like the EFF and the MK party? And if so, why did you object to taking questions from them?
No, I don't object at all. You know, we play games. They go onto the media and they make allegations. So my response to that was to say, well, I'm not taking questions from them, but they're welcome to ask any questions they want. I'm not afraid. Any person, providing they don't take up too much of my time, they're welcome to ask any question
But
they
also,
want.
you can't really dictate to Parliament as to who can and can't ask you questions.
I'm not dictating anything to Parliament.
No, but I thought you said that when they went out to the media, you had said to them...
No, but if a single person wants to make defamatory comments about me, I'm entitled to respond, and that's what I've done.
Paul O'Sullivan?
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Alcohol drowns our hope and fuels our pain. Our streets are flooded. Our families are breaking. Women and children are not safe. Alcohol kills 100 people in South Africa every day. For more information, visit www.truecostofalcohol.africa. Increase excise tax on alcohol.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey, morning, Mouse Obrian for Sloras Bongani. It's sad and unfortunate what's happening at Joburg, the water issue. As I'm saying, Obrian for Sloras Bongani, us in the elections, or the lower class, I don't know what to call ourselves, we are used to these situations. And when we were striking, people at Midrand, they were saying, hey, we are unpatriotic. I'm not saying they must do anything wrong or what, but I'm just saying, welcome to South Africa. Us in the election, this is our daily living life, Wanabongan. Electricity, poor service delivery, not even poor, non-service delivery. So I'll just like to say to Midrand, to Joburg, everyone, welcome to South Africa. As we've been living this life for the past, I can say, safely 8 years. Thank you, Bongani.
Morning, Bongani. I live in close to North Riding, and there was a water leakage on Pritchard here by Joburg North, and it was fresh water. And one day I held a plastic liter container to see how quickly that would fill up, just to get the amount of water, to understand the amount of water that was coming out of there. It took 40 seconds for that liter to fill. That leak started in 2020. It ran down the road and into Witkoppen. The reason why it didn't become a huge dam was because it would then go off to the side and into the river. Now that's been fixed, but to give you an idea of what the problem is, it was fixed last year. It took them 4 years to fix that leak, and someone with a more scientific mind can tell you exactly how much water was lost there. 4 years.
Yeah, ne? And those two calls. The 87-year-old, was it Rose? My mother is 87. She's got mobility challenges. Half a liter would be too much. Rose lives on her own. She's expected to go line up and queue up at a tanker, fill up however many liters she's got in terms of the bottles that she's carrying and then take that home. She doesn't always get told when the tanker will arrive. It's first come, first serve. And if you spotted it, you are one of the lucky ones. Then there's Neil, who for 8 months hasn't had water at his factory. He has to go up and down and fill up bottles from home. What is his residential bill for water? And he's doing it just to make sure he keeps his business running and his employees employed. So here's the question. Welcome to Joburg. Welcome to life in South, says Aubrey in Foslorus. Here's the question. What are we going to do about it? What are we doing about it? Do we just accept this? This is our lot and complain to 702? What are we going to do about it? This is an election year. Ding, 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 ding.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. Your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Famida, who is in Boksburg. Famida, what's the question?
Morning, Bongani. The question today is The Voice.
Famida, you're touching me in my studio. Tell me, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Oh, yes, I did.
Your biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way.
Thank you. Thank you, Bongani.
I will always love you. Thank you, Famida. See what I did there? See what I did there?
Okay.
1,000 Rand from Outsurance and 702. All right, there you go. If The Voice is the answer, what's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Paluta, I better switch one of the TV channels to, is it 201? What's going on?
I think it's 212.
212.
Yeah, 212 because
KG 212.
South Africa has been sent into bat by Afghanistan, the Proteas men. It's the T20 World Cup, and they have lost the wicket of Aiden Markram. He has been caught for 5 off 8 deliveries, so South Africa currently 12 for 1 in the third over. In the middle now, Quinton de Kock is on 7. Ryan Rickleton has yet to get off the mark. Also today, Australia against Ireland, England against the West Indies. Yesterday, Netherlands beat Namibia by 7 wickets. New Zealand beat the UAE by 10 wickets. Pakistan with a 32-run win over the USA. There was drama in the Proteas women's 5-wicket win over Pakistan in the first T20 in Poch. Chasing 181, captain Laura Wolfart smashed 61 off 38. They needed 2 off the last ball, and it was debutant Kayla Reiniker who smashed a 6 for the win. Here's Reiniker.
It was quite special making my debut in South Africa, especially in Poch, because I know I started my S19 journey here. So it's quite... I honestly don't have words. I think at a young age, coming into an environment like this, it's a dream come true, to be honest. Yeah.
Man United fought to a 1-1 draw with West Ham. Sheshko with the equaliser in the 96th minute. The Reds are 1 ahead of Chelsea, who had a 2-goal lead but drew with Leeds 2-2. Palmer missed a stoppage time sitter there. Bournemouth beat Everton 2-1, and Tottenham Hotspur booed off the pitch by home fans in a 2-1 loss to Newcastle. Spurs are 16th, 5 points away from the drop zone. Manager Thomas Frank says the players are doing their best.
If you see them out there, I think they're running very, very hard. I think it's tough for them. It is tough. Hey, football and life is tough at times. It's just the way it is. And when you have things going against you, you need to show resilience. You need to show your true colour. And we are definitely tested to show that.
At home, Amazulu through to the last 16 of the Nedbank Cup. They beat a 10-man Polokwane 32-1. Milford needed penalties to beat Soweto Super United after the game finished 1-1. And at the Winter Olympics, Sturla Holm Leichhardt won bronze in the 20-kilometre biathlon, but confessed afterwards that it was the worst week of his life. He had confessed to his girlfriend that he cheated on her 3 months ago. He says he lost the best thing in his life.
We make different choices during our life, and that's how you make life. So today I made the choice to tell the world what I did. Maybe there is a chance that she will see what she really means to me. But I don't want to think I didn't try everything to get her back.
Whoa. You can't just drop something that dramatic.
Yeah, he said that sport has come second these last few days and he wished he could have shared this moment with her. So he comes down the hill and this is the English, this is the second press conference that he did on the day. But the first one, he comes down the hill, and then he said, I just wanted to take this opportunity to let everybody know that I haven't been able to focus this week because 3 months I was in a 6-month relationship. 3 months ago, I cheated on her. I came clean and I now wish she was here. And she is the gold medal. And I thought I would take this opportunity.
Do you think it'll work?
No. Well, if she does, she's stupid. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Progress builds, it moves, and it has a partner. That partner is Anglo-American. Together, we're building progress where it matters most across South Africa, with 1.6 billion rand unlocked for entrepreneurs through our Impact Finance Network and 25.9 billion rand invested through our Kumba iron ore business into infrastructure development, healthcare, community upliftment, and more. These are just a few examples that show when collaboration is real, progress moves faster. As a proud sponsor of the Investing in African Mining Indaba, we are working with our partners to unlock mining's full potential. South Africa has a partner, Anglo-American, mining potential, building beyond.
Joburg Ballet presents Giselle, the sublime of all the romantic ballets, at the Joburg Theatre, Thursday, 12th February, so that's tomorrow until Sunday, the 15th of February. Giselle is a heartbreaking story of love so powerful it reaches from beyond the grave. It lays bare a tale of passion, betrayal, and forgiveness, with one of the greatest of all ballerina roles at its core. And on Valentine's Day, there'll be 2 performances. This is Saturday at 2 p.m. and at 7 p.m. Now, if you don't have an idea for Valentine, then I don't know what. Hey? It's an ideal opportunity to celebrate romance with this ballet and your Valentine. They're also going to go to the State Theatre later in the month in Pretoria from the 20th to Sunday the 22nd of February. Book your tickets now at webtickets.co.za.
So you thought you were building a business in this economy, but day by day somehow it grew. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
EWN Traffic.
12 to 8, this EWN Traffic brought to you by South African Airways. Make your move this Valentine's. Book your romantic getaway at flysaa.com. Amo?
Bongani, we've got a major accident scene on the N1 North. This is in the Polsof area. It's causing heavy delays as you approach Rivonia Road, all the way coming back out of Malibongwe Drive. Do expect about a 20-minute hold up there. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between Rivonia and Winnie Mandela Drive. Peak time pressure there. While if you use Rivonia Road towards areas like Polsof and Sunninghill, do expect delays approaching the N1 exit. And we've been talking about the planned march that's taking place in Melville, as well as Parktown West, and later on in the day in Marentia. Routes that are affected right now include Main Road towards 4th Avenue, as well as Kingsway Road. This is in the Auckland Park area. So if you are traveling within the Melville area, please try to avoid those. There's a planned water outage march that's taking place. And also try to use alternative routes like Berry Hertog Avenue. I am seeing delays on Berry Hertog as you approach Empire Road, but it's a slight hold up as opposed to Main Road in Melville. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Valentine's weekend is almost here, and this is your sign. Make the move. South African Airways has amazing fares to your favorite destinations. You can fly to Cape Town from just 1,144 Rand, Durban from 690 Rand, Gqeberha from 655. And that's just the beginning. Explore more destinations at flysaa.com. Make the move. Surprise your loved one. Make it a Valentine's weekend to remember. Book now at flysaa.com or contact your nearest travel agency. T's and C's apply.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is The Voice. Who do we have on the line? Let's go to Chanel in Edenvale. Chanel, what's the question?
Morning, Bongani. The question is, what is the nickname of Whitney Houston, who also died on this date in 2012?
Yeah, man. Oh, I was so heartbroken, hey? The
That's
voice.
how was I.
The voice, yeah. There'll never be another singer
Definitely
like her.
not.
Right?
Definitely not.
Oh.
I can't.
Chanel, 2,000 Rand coming your way, all thanks to Assurance and 702.
Bongani.
That is indeed the question. Whitney Houston, she died on this day in 2012, hey? Let's just listen to this voice.
And will always love you. Will always love you. You, my darling, you. Bittersweet memories. That is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye. Please don't cry. Each day I live, I want to be a day to give the best of me. I'm only one, but not alone. My finest day is yet unknown. I broke my heart for every gain. To taste the sweet, I face the pain. I rise and fall, yet through it all, this much remains. I want one moment in time when I'm more than I thought I could be. When all of my dreams are a heartbeat away, and the answers are all up to me. Give me one moment in time when I'm racing with destiny. Then in that one moment of time,
30-year-old Dineo knows all about saving on her car insurance with Outsurance.
I'm saving 1,094 rands.
That's an unbelievable 1,094 Rand monthly saving on Dineo's 2025 Kia Sonet. And she'll get an out bonus.
If I'm claim-free for 3 years, then I get an out bonus back.
Ready to see how much money Outsurance could save you? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
When it comes to protecting your workforce, trust the workwear brand that has been protecting workers for over 150 years. Sweetall. Sweetall has overalls and uniform solutions for every industry, so your team is safe, comfortable, and ready to tackle any challenge. Visit our Boksburg showroom, shop A1 Atlas Road, Westwood, Boksburg, or go to sweetall.com today. Sweetall, we never let you down. Superior protective workwear since 1871.
The stage, the lights, the crowd, everything's perfect until suddenly someone slips on the dance floor. A speaker lands in the buffet. In an instant, your masterpiece is a mess. That's why Auto & General is there with Events Liability Insurance. We handle the unexpected so you don't have to. Plan the party, wow the guests, leave the rest to us. For more information on Events Liability Insurance, visit autogen.co.za. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Let's catch up now with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
Let's find out about this one. Marrying or dating a friend's sister or brother. And does that always go well?
Well, that's the question. That's the question. Would would you let your best friend date or marry your sibling? And if you have, how did it work out? If they broke up, then, what happened with the friendship? Was it orcs if you had a gathering together? Or maybe you've got some really, really successful stories and it's one big happy family. I know a friend of mine, he married his best friend's sister and they've lived happily ever after. They spend family weekends all together. So it looks really, really, really nice and comfortable. But I suppose there are other instances where it doesn't go that way. And whilst we're talking about this, there's an old clip from 2019 that has resurfaced and gone viral again, and it features Faf du Plessis. It was a pre-match game in 2019. It was one of those SA20 matches, T20 match, for one of the province games. And he was talking about a teammate of his that wasn't playing that day, and he tells us the reason why he was missing in action. Let's take a listen.
Any changes today? One change. Hardis Felina's not playing. He's lying in bed with my sister. They got married yesterday. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. All right, Puff, all the best today. Cheers. Right, there we go. News from the middle is that the Giants have won the toss and they're going to have a bowl first.
Every brother's nightmare. Your friend lying in bed with your sister. Yeah, no. So, how do you navigate that? Have you got rules when it comes to siblings? Do you listen, hands off my sister, do not go near there? Or do you say, well, you guys go sort it out yourselves if you want to engage and whatever happens, happens. So I'd love to hear those stories this morning, if you've gone down that route or not.
Also, why are they your friend if you can't trust them with your sibling? There's a question. Or maybe it's because they're your friend that you can't trust them with your sibling.
Maybe you've seen them in action.
Yeah,
yes,
you know too much. All right, that's Kabazela's question. Have you dated or married a friend's sister or brother? And what are the rules in your friendship? Stay away from my siblings. Is that it? Let us know.
702 Feedback
with Rupfiwa Kone.
Rupfiwa Kone, what a morning it's been, hey?
It has been an
water.
It has been a hectic morning, Bongani. This past weekend, there was a footage or a video in Johannesburg of a resident who followed where the water was leaking. And if we could just please take a listen to
Out of desperation, literally running after water to find out where the water is. Samaya, how are you feeling about this? What are you seeing?
I am horrified. I'm seeing, I don't even think it's thousands of liters. I think it's millions of liters of water just being flushed out. I'm even going to name where it is. It's in the corner of Barnes Road and Isleworth, if I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, in Brixton. I'm assuming this is where the tie-in is between the old reservoir and the new reservoir. And there's just millions of liters pouring out onto the streets in the middle of the night.
Gosh.
It is areas like Westdean, Emerentia, Park West, Melville, who have been without water for weeks now.
You know what? I would like to challenge 702 landers. Drive around your neighborhood. If you see a leak, take a video. Take a video. Hashtag overconsumption.
Absolutely,
right?
Bongani.
Because that's what they say. It's us. It's our fault. When you see a leak,
take a video.
Post it. Hashtag overconsumption.
Absolutely, Bongani.
Just shade them.
Let's shade them because it seems like nothing is being done. Lots of leaks around the city. It's really inexplicable why we don't have water when there are so many leaks and infrastructure not being fixed.
And
it's not on.
Think of the summer rains we've had, hey? This is a good year. It's not always, the whole El Nino. We're in an El Nino cycle, so we've had good rains.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what 702 landers are also saying, that we've had so much rain. Why are we having a water shortage at the end of the day?
More of your water woes, but also more broadly on infrastructure. Tomorrow is the State of the Nation address. What do you want the president to say about our water woes? And yes, it is a local government issue, but surely even he can't ignore the anger over water woes in Johannesburg.
This is EWN.
The water crisis in Joburg has left many with no choice but to protest, and Thabo Bester's legal team is fighting to have him removed from maximum security. Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. Some Joburg residents and businesses are demanding for water to be restored almost a month without supply. People are protesting in different parts of the city this morning as their taps remain dry. Areas including Melville, Westdean, Parktown West and Emiratia have been affected by the Johannesburg's commando meter system, which has been facing supply challenges due to demand. Demakatso Leshoro has more.
Melville residents have taken to the streets in protest over ongoing water outages, with some residents describing the situation as day zero-like conditions. Communities say prolonged disruptions have severely affected daily life.
Accountability. You know, in a city like this, no.
I cannot explain how much it is an anxious-making system. You can't flush the toilet. You can't wash your dishes. You can't wash your hands. It is so stressful.
Civil society groups, including Water Can, have called for a national state of disaster to be declared over Johannesburg, arguing the crisis requires urgent intervention. However, Joburg Water has denied that the city is facing a system collapse, saying measures are in place to stabilize supply. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News, Melville.
The Johannesburg Social Housing Company says it has recovered nearly 1 million rand, which was paid for the construction of a wall that was never built at an old age home. EWN has seen a letter to the entity's board by former Human Settlements MMC Anthea Leach, alleging that ex-Josco COO Themba Matibe instructed the contractor not to proceed with the work. Matibe is now in the spotlight following his dramatic arrest by SAPS's elite special task force on suspicion of money laundering. Police say a large sum of cash was found at his home near Sandton during the arrest. Alfara Mushwana reports.
The City of Johannesburg's Social Housing Company has been rocked by procurement irregularities, some of which allegedly involve its former COO Themba Matibe, who is now the entity's acting CEO. Last month, police raided the company's offices in Johannesburg as part of an investigation into serious procurement breaches. On the same day, he was arrested and charged with money laundering after SAPS's elite special task force found a large sum of cash at his home. But this was not the first time that allegations were leveled against him. An internal letter previously alleged that Matibe approved a 1 million rand payment for the construction of a wall that was never built. While the entity has confirmed the payment was made despite no work being done, it insists Matibe was not involved in any attempt to defraud the city. In a statement to EWN, the entity says the 1 million rand has since been recovered and the contractor involved has been blacklisted. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
Thabo Bester's lawyers say while they are disappointed with their latest legal blow, they remain desperate to have him transferred from the Bongani prison. Bester's bid was struck off the urgent court roll yesterday. Judge Mamloko Kupushi was critical on the stringent timeframes that Bester's lawyers gave correctional services to reply to this case. But Bester's lawyers insist the extreme urgency was necessary because they are unable to consult with him for his main prison break case while he is at the country's only super maximum security prison. Bester's lawyer, Inolofateng Morero, insists they will be approaching the court with the same bid soon.
We need to be able to consult with the client. We need to be able to know what is our instruction moving forward. And as you know, the 18th is our last case management hearing as we stand now, and the matter has been set down tentatively for July. So we need to be actively preparing.
And the head of Instagram has been called to testify in an LA courtroom by lawyers out to prove that social media is dangerously addictive by design to young, vulnerable minds. YouTube and Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook, are defendants in a blockbuster trial that could set a legal precedent regarding whether social media giants deliberately designed their platforms to be addictive to children. Rival lawyers made opening remarks to jurors this week, with an attorney for YouTube insisting that Google-owned video platform was neither intentionally addictive nor technically social media. The civil trial in California state court centers on allegations that a 20-year-old woman identified as Kaylee GM suffered severe mental harm after becoming addicted to social media as a child. She started using YouTube at 6 and joined Instagram at 11 before moving to Snapchat and TikTok 2 or 3 years later. Gold is trading at $5,048.57 an ounce. The rand is at 15.89 to the dollar, 21.72 to the pound, 18.93 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $69.24 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes at this moment in the Melville area, obviously due to the march that's taking place regarding the water outage. As a result, main road towards 4th Avenue is heavily backed up. There's also queuing traffic reported along Kingsway Avenue. This is in the Auckland Park area, so please be on the lookout there. And if you are traveling in Parktown West, we do have delays along Jan Smuts Avenue. This is towards the Valley Road. Please be on the lookout there.
And in your sport, Proteas captain Aidan Markram falls on the third over as De Kock and Rickleton look to build against Afghanistan at the T20 World Cup. South Africa 43 for 1 after 6 overs. The Proteas women go 1-up in the T20 series, beating Pakistan by 5 wickets. 5 more Premier League games tonight. Last night there were wins for Bournemouth and Newcastle as Chelsea and Man United were held to draws. And the draw for the Nedbank Cup last 16 will be done later this evening. Amazulu and Milford, the last 2 sides to book their spot.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 31 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Some Joburg residents and businesses are demanding for water to be restored almost a month without supply.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Your brain's a well-oiled machine. Now put it to work in the brain of 702. Enter on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, it is a Wednesday, and of course that means another corporate that cares. So what we're going to do today, just for today, we'll play Brain of 702 in a few minutes, just a little after 8:15. And then of course the 10 to 9 will have corporates that care. I mentioned the appearance before the Police Ad Hoc Committee in Parliament looking at alleged criminality in our law enforcement. It was the turn of Paul O'Sullivan to finally appear before members of Parliament. You remember, of course, he was mentioned previously, both in fact at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry as well as this ad hoc committee. So it was pertinent that he comes and gives evidence. MPs went to some great lengths to find out who is Paul O'Sullivan, what are his qualifications, what is his background. Initially, he didn't want to go there, and the MPs told him, you can't tell us what questions we'll ask you, you'll respond to what we do put to you. And so the question of his qualifications, as one example, came up. If you missed it, have a quick listen.
When the advert was taken out for this position, what were the requirements in terms of qualifications?
I can't remember, Chairman. We're going back over a quarter of a century. I didn't keep a copy of the advertisement.
Do you have a degree or equivalent yourself?
No, that wasn't a requirement.
Do you have a degree or an equivalent? You?
No.
So that post will not, Group Executive Aviation and Security will not have required a degree?
No, there was no degree required in the advertisement.
It was designed to suit you.
I don't agree with that. The advertisement came out the week after I had that meeting.
Who was in the panel? How many were there and who were they?
I think there were 4 or 5 directors of Airports Company, the chairman and 3 or 4 other directors.
Was there no one representing the minister at the panel?
Chairman, I can't remember. It's, I think 26 years ago, 25 years ago.
So, for a lot of the MPs, it was important to establish who Paul O'Sullivan was, his background, what brought him to South Africa when he chose to come to South Africa. To contextualize his involvement in law enforcement, to say, hang on, were you somebody who wanted, for example, this democracy to succeed? Or do you have old ties to the old regime? The information you say you gathered about Jackie Silibi or the spy tapes, etc., what was the context? And perhaps that might be fair. Paul O'Sullivan's point, though, is corruption within SAPS isn't something new. He traces it back to the days of Jackie Silibi. And his argument is, do you want to know what's going on here now? Or is this your chance to take shots at me? Which one do you want? Either what I have to say will help you get to the bottom of alleged corruption within SAPS now, or we can spend this time with you questioning me. Now, I said earlier, there are as many reasons to dislike Paul O'Sullivan as there are kilometers between here and Timbuktu. Which one do we want? Muteo Haripe?
I think they should have more than 2 days, and here's why. From my opinion, right? You ask him those questions to establish what kind of man you're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Yes, we can ask him all the things that he's been involved in with police and IPID, but who is the character, O'Sullivan? And I think that, well, they could have done that faster yesterday, but that's what they were trying to establish. This is where he comes from. This is how he got in. This is how he got his reputation, and that's why we're here today.
I noted with some interest that exchange with Julius Malema about his qualifications, where he was at one point acts as head of aviation security and risk. I think there's a fancy title. And Malema says, do you have a degree? What were the requirements of the job? So was this tailor-made just for you? Paul O'Sullivan at some point threatened to withdraw his cooperation.
I'm going to withdraw my cooperation. I'm not going to assist in a kangaroo court. I came here to give evidence about the corruption in the criminal justice system, which has resulted in the mess that we have in the criminal justice system today. And the false allegations that have been made against me will take, I don't know, a lot more than an hour to go through. And if it's going to be curtailed because people don't want to hear the truth, it means what we're actually doing is we're not allowing a witness to explain why this happened and why that happened. What I cannot contemplate is that everyone should think, oh, I woke up one day and decided to infiltrate IPID and infiltrate the police and infiltrate the National Prosecuting Authority, because that pack of lies has been peddled in this house.
What were your thoughts? Let's talk. 011 883 0702. And I'll take your WhatsApp voice notes on 072 702 1702.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Kabazela wants to know, what are the rules within your friendship groups? Can your siblings date your friends? Or your friends date your siblings? Do you say no because you know too much about your friend? But on the other hand, why are they your friend? If they're not good enough for your sibling, why are they good enough for you as a friend? Muteo?
Back in high school, I dated my friend's sister. We had a huge fallout about it, but that was my exact question. I also let him know I was going to ask her out, to be fair.
Yeah.
And her and I happened to like each other.
What did he know about you?
I mean, nothing. I mean, what could I have done then? I was in high school. I was in high school, but he wasn't impressed by it and had a huge fallout. And I mean, yeah.
You did what you had to do.
Yes.
Both of you. Amo?
Listen, my brother would not let his friends even start a conversation with us. It was so hectic. And now that I look back, I'm glad.
He was protecting you. Oh, my goodness.
Morning, Bongi and Gabazela. Flores here from the beautiful Western Cape. I married my best friend's niece. We were in the army together a long time. So, yeah, I got married to his niece. And, yeah, 35 years on, we're still going strong. We're happy. But at that time, when I dated his niece, he wanted to date my sister. And I said to him, no, we don't go there. Otherwise, this is going to ruin our friendship. So, yeah, he did not like it, but yeah, he still approved of me marrying his niece. Good, so bye-bye.
Morning, Bongani team. With regards to the friends dating your sibling, it's not actually me, but my parents. My dad used to be besties with my uncle. So when he started dating my mom, my uncle got so mad that he ended the friendship. He literally totally ended the friendship. And then my dad just stuck around because he was in love and eventually married my mom. And that's when the friendship got rekindled again. So it does work out sometimes, you know. Salamina from Pretoria.
Love my producers. So they found a clip of Martin Lawrence on the Jimmy Kimmel show talking about the fact that his daughter is with Eddie Murphy's son. So they're friends and obviously have acted together in a couple of movies. What was the one? Life? Remember Life? Right? Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy.
Along with...
Now their kids get together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's complicated. KG?
No, we haven't talked about it. We kind of just stay out of their business and let them do their own thing and respect their thing.
Yeah. But if they're to get married, you're not going to pay for that wedding, are you? I mean, Eddie has to pay for it, right?
I'm going to try to get Eddie to pay for it.
Sometimes it's just all in good fun, is it not?
EWN Traffic.
All right, the CWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. There are also delays in the capital. Amma, what's going on?
Indeed, Bongani. If you're traveling on the N14 north towards the Fountains Valley area, do expect delays approaching Euphis Road. There's also queuing traffic reported along Old Johannesburg Road coming out of the N14 bridge. And if you're heading towards the Flying Saucer turnoff, do expect delays as you approach on the N1 south approaching the turnoff. This is due to peak time delays. And then on the opposite side of the road, I'm seeing an accident, so please be on the lookout there, right at the Flying Saucer interchange. And then, of course, if you're traveling within the Joburg inner city areas, Melville and Parktown West, the march are still taking place due to the water outage. So please be on the lookout on Main Road as well as Jan Smuts Avenue. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a couple stealing glances at each other. In a week, their lives will change forever as they exchange their I-do's. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a love story on the move. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
When the brightest brains collide in the biggest general knowledge quiz in Gauteng, it's time for the Brain of 702.
It is the Brain of 702 and time to put your brilliance on display. Prove your mental might for a chance to win a share of 130,000 Rand. So 1,500 Rand in this round, another 1,500 Rand if you win at the end of the day with John Perlman on 702 Drive. The winner, of course, of this week's Brain will win 10,000 Rand. That's if you play all the way to Friday afternoon. Ultimately, of course, 30,000 Rand should you become the Brain of 702. Now, as you know, we normally do this around 10 to 9, but today, it's a Wednesday. We've got a corporate that cares, so we thought we'll do it now. Right? Better now than never, as the saying goes. Two contestants, Sandra I believe you are playing for the first time this year, and how well did you do yesterday, hey?
I got 6 and I went to sudden death and I won.
It was all about nerves, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Which category makes you most nervous?
The sports.
Well, good luck. Hopefully you get it right, hey? Good luck, and let's see if you can do it again. You're up against Ludwe, and I understand this is the first time you're playing this year. Ludwe, I'm going to need you to switch off your radio. I'm hearing myself in the background. Are you there?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. This is your first time playing this year.
Yes, it is. First time to play ever.
That's why you've got the radio in the background, hey? Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Which one are you nervous about?
The spelling one.
The spelling one. All right, good luck to you both. You know how it works. 1,500 Rand is up for grabs in this round. I've got 15 questions. Answer as many correctly as you can within 60 seconds. And of course, the contestant with the most correct answers will be the brain of the morning. Sandra, you get to go first. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
KG, start the clock.
3, 2, 1.
Spell the word brewery.
BREWERY.
Correct. Complete the saying, many what make light work.
Many hands.
Correct. In which sport will you score with a header from a corner kick?
Soccer.
Correct. True or false? In food, the term for firm but tender pasta is al dente.
True.
Correct. Which cricket team won the ICC World Test Championship in South Africa in 2025?
False.
South Africa. Is the town Warden in the Western Cape or Free State?
Free State.
Correct. Which singer of the hit Umbrella was born as Robin Fenty?
Beyonce.
Rihanna. Which South African politician is nicknamed Msholozi?
Zuma.
Jacob Zuma, correct. In medicine, what does the A stand for in the abbreviation DNA?
Pass.
Acid. And I can't ask another question. So 9 completed questions. You have 6 correct answers. 6 correct answers. You like this number, hey? All right, let's see if 6 will continue to be your lucky number. Stay on the line, Sandra. Ludwe, 6 or better to win. Are you ready? Ludwe.
I am ready.
You're going to have to answer a lot faster than that, my friend.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me? Ludwe?
Yes, I can hear you.
You're going to have to answer faster than that, buddy.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, KG, start the clock.
3,
I can hear you, Bongani.
2, 1.
Spell the word caramel. Ludwe, spell the word caramel.
CARMEL.
Correct. Complete the saying, he tried every trick in the what?
In the book.
Correct. In which sport will you use a sand wedge in a bunker?
Cricket.
Golf. True or false? In food, green cooking bananas are called plantains.
True.
Correct. Which cricket team won the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup in 2023?
India.
Australia. Is the town Palabora in Limpopo or Mpumalanga?
Limpopo.
Correct. Which singer of the hit Poker Face was born as Stefani Germanotta?
Pass.
Lady Gaga. Which South African politician is nicknamed Juju?
That's Malema.
Correct. In medicine, what does the E stand for in the acronym REM?
Yeah.
I is what we were looking for there. I is what we were looking for there. Ludwe, you've got a total of 5 correct answers. 5 correct answers. I think the connection there probably hurt you a little. I'm afraid that means you don't win. Sandra, it does appear 6 is your lucky number.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You've won yet another round of the Brain of 702. You are now 1,500 Rand richer thanks to 702. You play again with John Perlman this afternoon. And if you're still standing after that round, you will be the Brain of the Day.
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, let's start with Ukraine's Olympic argument.
Yeah, this is about Vladislav Hereskevich, a bobsleigh rider, sorry, skeleton they call it these days, and a skeleton bob rider who was wearing a black armband in tribute to the dead in the fight with Russia, but also wanted to wear a helmet which has images of some of the dead. And that has caused the International Olympic Committee to ban the helmet, which has now got the Ukrainian Prime Minister hopping mad. She says the number of athletes killed by Russians, 650, lives cut short. Their memory should not be silenced. Always tricky. Is remembrance a political message? Is this a political message? We remember sometimes it's tricky wearing a poppy on your shirt around about Armistice Day. It's always fraught and contentious, but were they right, the IOC, to ban that helmet?
Talk to me now about an Irishman's ICE arrest. This is in the States, yeah?
Yeah, in America, absolutely, yeah. Obviously, it's a thickening file of awful things that have happened, the worst of which are those two deaths in Minneapolis, two people shot by ICE agents in the course of their work. Here we have an Irishman who's been arrested by ICE agents, America's Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, and has now been locked up for 5 months. Now get this, Seamus Cullerton has been living in the United States for nearly 20 years. He is married to a US citizen. He has a work permit, but was still waiting for his green card to come through. But he was absolutely, in his view and the view of his lawyers, living in America legally. So is his arrest therefore illegal? He's been locked up for 5 months in one of these detention camps in El Paso. He describes the conditions as horrible, filthy, cramped, and how he's picked up several infections during his time there. You just keep asking, with every time you hear one of these reports to do with ICE agents, what happened to the sweet land of liberty? Surely it's not meant to be like that.
Yeah, we're all too familiar with detention without trial here in this country following the apartheid regime. Now, Adam, do you ever walk around barefoot?
Well, out of the shower. Don't know if that quite counts as a walk of peace. But yeah, a band of Buddhist monks have just walked barefoot for the last, well, very nearly 4 months. They completed a 3,200-kilometer march from Texas to Washington, D.C. The Walk of Peace capturing the attention of millions of Americans, partly because they live streamed it on Facebook. You don't always want to completely solidly watch 19 Buddhist monks for 4 months as they walk around and about the place. But there was something very peaceful and calm about them. And in fact, it was about mindfulness and peace, and as they put it, a commitment to compassion that inspired them to do this walk. 19 Buddhist monks from all parts of the world, essentially. They came together for this, and they talked about a time of heightened division in America. Whether or not they've healed anything, they have walked for 108 days, and 108 is a sacred number in Buddhism. It represents spiritual completion. I suggest maybe the monks have spiritually completed. There might be a few in Washington, D.C. who'd like to follow suit.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I get the walk, I get the peace, I get the shoes, though, the blisters on their feet. That's what I'd be worried about.
And the cold.
Yeah. Wonder how peaceful their feet are after these 4 months. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Well, not walking, they're certainly going to be flying, right? This private equity firm now taking over Fly Safair, Mutero.
Yeah, Harith General Partners, a South African private equity firm, is in advanced talks to acquire budget airline Fly Safair for an undisclosed amount. The deal will expand Harith's transport portfolio on the continent, with Fly Safair's management and strategy remaining intact. Fly Safair's market share controls around 67% of domestic seat capacity, so they're doing well at the moment with 10 domestic and 5 regional routes. Harith's investment will fund the deal through a mix of equity and debt, making up 15% of its overall portfolio. The transaction, which is still subject to regulatory approval, will see FlySafair join Harris' portfolio, which spans stakes in Lanseria International Airport and Traction, Africa's largest private rail operator, amongst other assets.
Pick n Pay, not quite the turnaround they'd hoped for.
Yeah, they were going quite well and things just off-ramped all of a sudden towards the end of the year. Pick n Pay's shares took a dive, plummeting 14% in early trade yesterday after the retailer warned of larger than expected losses for the year to end March 2026. The company's turnaround efforts in its core South African supermarkets slowed towards the end of 2025, with trading since September being below expectations due to a constrained market, especially during the Black Friday period. Pick n Pay's annual loss is now expected to widen to more than 20%.
Your indicators?
The rand at 15 rand 89 against the US dollar, still strong this morning at 18 rand 94 against the euro, and at 21 rand 72 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is up 0.5% at $5,051 an ounce, while platinum is up 2.5% at $2,135. Brent crude at $69.14 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Straight to the news desk we go. Up next, of course, it's a Wednesday. It's another corporate that cares. Sfisa Zulu, what do you have at this hour?
Well, Bongani, good morning. Some Joburg residents and businesses are demanding for water to be restored almost a month without supply. People are protesting in different parts of the city this morning as their taps remain dry. Areas including Melville, Westdean, Parktown West and Emiransha have been affected by the Johannesburg's commando meter system, which has been facing supply challenges due to demand. Zimakatso Lishoro has more.
Melville residents have taken to the streets in protest over ongoing water outages, with some residents describing the situation as day zero-like conditions. Communities say prolonged disruptions have severely affected daily life.
Accountability, in a city like this, no.
I cannot explain how much it is an anxious-making system. You can't flush the toilet, you can't wash your dishes, you can't wash your hands. It is so stressful.
Civil society groups, including Water Can, have called for a national state of disaster to be declared over Johannesburg, arguing the crisis requires urgent intervention. However, Joburg Water has denied that the city is facing a system collapse, saying measures are in place to stabilize supply. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News, Melville.
Gauteng Education MEC Matume Chilwane says the department's scholar transport budget allocation is 800 million rand below the current spend. He says his department is struggling to keep up with the number of new learners that come into the system each year who need scholar transport. The department has revealed that the annual 1.1 billion rand grant from the legislature has not been increased for a while now. Matume has apologized for the disruption in services.
Because of the growth in the number of learners and the population, and the proliferation of informal settlements, then these kids need to be transported to nearer school. So we've been carrying this thing, and the grant has not been growing, but the number of learners requiring this service has been growing, because we have an obligation by law that once it's 5 kilometers, we have to come in and provide transport.
4 wanted suspects have been killed in a shootout with police in KwaZulu-Natal. Officers say the group committed murders, attempted murders and robberies. Police acted on a tip-off where the group was hiding in Inanda last night, but the gang allegedly defied orders. Spokesperson Robert Nichunda.
Police reacted to intelligence about the wanted suspects who were spotted at their hideout spot at a 2-roomed shack house at Amatikwe. When police arrived at the scene, a shootout ensued, and during the shootout, 4 suspects were shot and fatally wounded. 4 firearms, all of which were pistols, and several rounds of ammunition were found in their possession.
And the U.S. will deploy 200 troops to Nigeria to train its armed forces in their fight against jihadist groups. The agreement has been confirmed by both countries. The soldiers, expected to arrive in the coming weeks, will provide training and technical guidance, including by helping their Nigerian counterparts coordinate operations that involve airstrikes and ground troops simultaneously. Nigeria has been under diplomatic pressure from the U.S. over insecurity in the country, which U.S. President President Donald Trump has characterized as persecution and genocide against Christians. Abuja rejects allegations of Christian persecution in Nigeria, a framing long used by the U.S. religious rights. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 31 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 South between the Baku interchange and Kuala Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North bumper-to-bumper traffic between Beyers-Naudé Drive and Rivonia Road. And if you're traveling in the Polsov area, please be on the lookout for that accident near Rivonia Road on the N1 causing delays.
The top story this hour, some Joburg residents and businesses are demanding for water to be restored almost a month without supply.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 Rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Modern romance is complicated. Swiping left, swiping right, decoding situationships. Flying should not be part of the drama. That's why at Fly Sapphire, there are no mixed signals. Just low fares from only 570 Rand. That's right. If low fares are your love language, we speak it fluently. Get to flysapphire.co.za and use our low fare finder to track down the best flights this month of love. It's hassle-free flying from the heart. Fly Sapphire for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani, I think we should just have a ministry called Water and Electricity, and everything can be under Dr. Hosienzo. And I mean, maybe rope in the expertise of people like Teto Nyati to come and sort out the water problem. And I understand the water problem in Joburg is a municipal or a provincial competency, but I mean, as a national department, if we still have, and I don't mean to be crass or anything, but the current minister who's in charge of water does not inspire confidence. She doesn't even seem to have a grip or handle on what's going on. And so we really, really need to start taking this water issue seriously.
Bongani, it's Thabo here, Rodipot. Bongani, with the issue of Northwest and water, I can attest to that. There's no municipality, none whatsoever, no municipality in Northwest that can tell you they don't have water problems. And it's been like that for ages. I'm talking 1999, 2000, as far back as that.
Good morning, Bongs. Marching, doing this is not going to help. The only thing that's going to help, everybody stands together and stop paying your COJ accounts. Yes, the municipalities have stolen billions. They can bring it all back. They can find it and see where they've put it. We here in the south of Joburg, I haven't seen one tanker. We have some good citizens here that come and that give us water from their boreholes, and tankers that come, all private, not the government. And it's a big area here. It's Crown Gardens, Robert Sham, Ridgeway. It's quite a massive area. No tankers here. And marching is not going to help because there's just a few people. We need to just stop paying our accounts and bring Joburg to its knees like it's bringing its citizens to its knees.
Hey, Bongs, Karabo here. You know, this water situation, I'm even more worried because of the level of rain that we've had in the summer season, especially in Gauteng. I mean, provinces such as Limpopo or Mpumalanga, you know, they had those floods. But in general, this has been mildly dry rainy season, especially in the province. So in the next couple of months, you'll hear they'll be telling us about the Val Dam levels being low. Yeah, it's only going to get worse. I mean, when it rains, it pours. I intended that fun.
When it rains, it pours. I get the irony of what you're trying to say there. Two things. I like the idea of a Ministry of Water and Electricity, right? With Josienzo Ramakopa, who is an engineer, as far as I remember. Maybe that could be a solution. I wonder, though, how many in the political class are connected to the water tanking businesses, right? How much of this is because people are actually looking the other way so they can get tenders to their pals to deliver water?
Yeah, you're opening another can of
Right?
worms now.
Think about it. Think about it. Now, as far as not paying your city accounts, I don't support that. One of the issues we have with rule of law in South Africa is a legacy issue from the struggle days, when the idea was to make townships ungovernable. And what has that allowed but a culture of non-compliance with the law? Nobody ever went back to people and say, okay, now let's own our communities, let's stand up, let's be proud. Much of what you see that goes wrong stems from that legacy. Campaigns of disobedience, however well-intentioned, have lasting consequences. And if you do want to bring the city to its knees, and therefore the residents to their knees, stop paying your accounts, I don't think that's a solution. But we're not powerless, folks. We are not powerless. This is an election year. We are not powerless.
EWN Sport.
There's a World Cup going on. Live action, Cindy Paluta,
Yeah,
the
bo.
T20 World Cup.
Yes.
What's the latest?
Yes, so at the moment, the Proteas, 144 for 3 after 16.2 overs. They were sent into bat by Afghanistan. After losing Markram early for 5, de Kock and Rickleton put on a partnership of 114 off just 61 balls before de Kock was caught for 59 or 41 and Rickleton was trapped LBW for 61 from 28. In the middle is Brevis on 14 and Miller on 5. Also today, Australia against Ireland and England against the West Indies. Yesterday, there were wins for the Netherlands, New Zealand and Pakistan. In Poch, Kayla Reineke on debut for the Proteas women smashed 6 off the last ball to give South Africa a 5-wicket win over Pakistan in the first T20. They needed 2 off the last ball. The victory included another sublime knock from captain Laura Wolfart, who smashed 61 off 38 as they chased down 182. That's her 13th half century in T20 cricket. Undeniably one of the greatest cricketers this country has produced. Here's the 20-year-old debutant, Kayla Reineke.
It was quite special making my debut in South Africa, especially in Potch, because I know I started my S19 journey here. So it's quite, I honestly don't have words. I think at a young age, coming into an environment like this, it's a dream come true, to be honest. Yeah.
There's 5 more games in the Premier League tonight, including Man City hosting Fulham, Villa welcome Brighton, Liverpool away at Sunderland. Last night, Seshko scored in the 96th minute as Man United drew with West Ham 1-1. Leeds came from 2 goals down to hold Chelsea 2-2. Palmer missed an easy chance to score in stoppage time there. A 10-man Everton lost to Brighton 2-1. Newcastle up to 10th on the table. They beat Spurs 2-1. The result sees Spurs drop to 16th on the table, 5 points away from relegation. The draw for the last 16 of the Nedbank Cup will be done tonight. Amazulu and Milford were the last 2 sides to book their spot. Last night, Amazulu knocked out Polokwane City 2-1. Milford beat Soweto Super United on penalty. In rugby, All Blacks lock Fabian Holland will have surgery on a dislocated shoulder this week. He's expected to be back in time for the test of the Springboks in August. And in Six Nations, England captain Maro Itoje will start for Saturday's game with Scotland. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
17 minutes before 9 o'clock. It's been a busy morning, Amo. No doubt impacted by the march.
Yes, especially in the Melville and Parktown areas. Bongani Main Road in Melville is still heavily backed up. Obviously, motorists are driving a bit slower just to yield towards the protesters this morning. So as a result, please be on the lookout if you're traveling on Main Road towards 4th and 3rd Avenue. And then if you're traveling in Parktown, we still have got some issues reported on Jan Smuts Avenue. That's where the protest is also taking place. So please be on the lookout and drive with care. If you're traveling on the M1 South at this particular moment, we've got delays between the Baku interchange and Corler Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 North between Beyers-Naudé Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. This is due to an earlier accident as well as peak time delays. More updates coming up at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Without insurance, saving on your car insurance is sweeter than heart-shaped chocolates. 30-year-old Dineo saves an unbelievable 1,094 Rand on her 2025 Kia. Is it Sonnet or Sona? Get a quote now, and if insurance can't save you money, ask them for 500 Rand or even 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Why pay more when you could be saving? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP, T's and C's, and information online.
For over 30 years, Bid Air Cargo has been keeping South Africa's supply chain moving, giving our economy the dedicated cargo capacity it needs. Whether it's really, really urgent, oversized, or hazardous, when a shipment has to fly, we make it happen. Linking all major airports with reliable freighter services, our promise delivers. Bid Air Cargo. Every kilo counts.
Get the advantage this tax year end with Sage. No stress, no scrambling. Just seamless HR and payroll that keeps you ahead of UIF, PAYE, and employment equity. All in one smart cloud solution. With automated compliance, real-time accuracy, and simplified HR and payroll. Give your business the tax year end advantage. That's Sage. Visit tax.sage.co.za today.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
All right, Clement Manyatela is on your radio between 9 and 12. And today at 10 o'clock, Patricia de Lille, the Minister of Tourism, talking to us about tourism-related matters. Meters. You see, I've got water on my mind. Okay. Matters. And of course, the listener's choice feature. What does the law say about fat and sit? Huh? Cohabitation. Are you cohabiting? The law has something to say about that. What is it? Listen to Clement between 9 and 12.
Okay, truck 7, that has zero warning lights. Truck 8, it's just been serviced. I guess we're running like a well-oiled machine. Where would I be without MyWay's comprehensive cover for my vans and trucks? Plus, cover for my customers' orders with goods and transit insurance. I guess we'll never know.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. MyWay is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. MyWay. Live your way.
All cars are designed to move. A Mazda is crafted to move you. Every line, every detail, form in motion, beauty with purpose. So that when you drive, you connect. Car and driver become one. One rhythm. Builds, holds, breaks free. The feeling will find you. Mazda. Wonder awaits.
Get your brain in the game because the Brain of 702 is back with your chance to flex your general knowledge smarts. There's 3,000 Rand up for grabs every day, and Brain of the Week wins 10,000 Rand plus a spot in the finals to compete for the grand prize, 30,000 Rand. Enter on primemediaplus.com now, then catch 702 Breakfast with me, Bongani Bingwa, or John Pullman's 702 Drive for a chance to be the brain of 702. T's, C's, and more on primemediaplus.com. Now, we typically play the brain at around this time. We'll do so tomorrow and Friday and every other day of the week, except for today, because it's a Wednesday and we have a corporate that cares.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
11 minutes before 9 o'clock, as I say, it is a Wednesday, and of course, it's time to welcome another corporate that cares. The idea is to put a spotlight on corporates, but really all citizens who walk the talk, trying to make a difference and a measurable difference at that in our communities. And today is no exception. So we have the CEO of the Republic of Mozambique Pipeline Investments Company, Rompco, Mlanzeni Boyce, is going to take us inside their learner support program. This is an education initiative focused on supporting learners, particularly in rural and under-resourced schools. They're focusing on Mpumalanga a lot and KZN, maths, science, but also dignity and long-term opportunity for these young kids. Mlanzeni Boyce, welcome to 702 Breakfast, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Bongani. Good morning to everyone and to the listeners as well.
I always start with this question, if you've heard this segment. Why are you a corporate that cares?
Bongani, I think for us, we value the long-term relationship that we have with the community. And as a corporate, we try by all means to have a positive impact into our society. Our operations, as you mentioned, cuts across the most rural parts of South Africa. And we look at those communities as the front line for us, right? And we call them the fence line community. So these are the first people, if there's something wrong with our operations, they call us. So there is that level of symbiosis relationship between them and us. So each person must extract the value from a company perspective as well as from a community perspective. So what do we do, though, from a Rompco point of view? We don't impose ourselves into the community. We basically send skilled consultants, go to the community, engage them, understand what are the key issues that they have. So the learner support comes from that, right? And over time, we've picked up that there's key issues that are impacting the society, especially around the socio-economic challenges that are sitting out there. And most of us, from a Rompco point of view, we come from these communities at the end of the day.
And I guess, excuse the pun, I guess from an energy company point of view, you want future employees in your pipeline.
Correct.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a natural fit, right? You say you come from such a community, it makes sense.
Yeah. Let me paint a picture for you. We have an initiative called the Mobile Lab. Rural schools, most rural schools, they don't have labs. So we're talking about Quintile 1 and Quintile 2 schools. These kids, they have to compete in matric and write matric and compete with kids that are sitting in Quintile 4 and Quintile 5. They have never been in the lab and have experiment.
Yeah.
I'm coming from that environment. Yeah. I remember in high school, my teacher used to say to us, we are doing experiment. He will read to us and say, close your eyes and imagine it. I can't do that to these kids. I'm a scientist today, though. But I can't do that to them.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes and imagine it.
And imagine it. Because you've never seen a Bunsen burner.
You've never seen a Bunsen burner. He talks about a beaker. I remember there was this experiment that you put sodium in water, it's an exothermic reaction, and then you get sodium hydroxide, and then the heat, if you hold the beaker, the beaker will be warm. What is a beaker? What is sodium? You don't have an idea. So what we do...
Hold on. I want more of your story now, because I think it's a good illustrator of, don't be bashful, it's a good illustrator of the possibility.
Of course.
How do you then go from that environment to being a scientist as you are today?
Look, again, another corporate that cares, because I find myself in UCT knowing that I cannot afford this tuition there, but the corporate decided that will invest in this young boy. You see, so all that I've gone through what I'm trying to implement.
Sure, but even the difficulties, because you've imagined all these things. Now you're at UCT, one of the top universities in the country. Many of your cohort would know what a beaker is. Yes. They would have done these experiments with their hands. They know the smell of some of these chemicals. Yeah. All of that was new to you.
Yes.
How did you navigate that environment?
It's quite tough. You have to work harder. And I always say to people, the fairest thing that is here in life is 24 hours. What do you do with that is up to you. You have to work hard.
Say that again. The fairest thing?
The first thing that is here in earth is 24 hours. We all have 24 hours when we wake up. You have to put the time so that you can push yourself. But other people might not have. Other people have other issues that are facing.
Wow.
I'd like to bring in the mobile lab quickly, if you allow me to do that.
let me conduct this interview. Let me do my job. We'll come to the mobile lab.
Yeah.
But just talk to me. The schools you work with are in far-flung areas. I'm from the Eastern Cape, so I know where Kokstad is, right? That's one area where you work. You've been to Manzana in Mpumalanga. What stories are coming out of those places?
Look, the school that we work with, this is like, when you talk about under-resourced community, it's to whatever imagination you can paint of, right? And this is the space where you find that even the attendance rate is quite very low because there's no support in school. So what we've done in terms of all these initiatives, we've seen the attendance rates going up. Not just that, but also, I mean, the beautiful thing that when we started with this intervention about 5-6 years ago, the pass rate was sitting at about 55%. Today, we're talking about 90 to 95%. That's a significant improvement just by putting this initiative.
The basic education minister the other day was decrying, I think 435 schools across the country don't even offer mathematics.
That's true.
As a subject. Now, let's talk about the mobile lab.
Yeah.
Yay, finally. I like the idea that by definition, the fact that it's a mobile lab, it therefore means you can spread it around.
Correct.
And you can go to different places with it.
Yeah. So what we've done, we bought what we call quantums, right? Now we use the quantum in a different way. So we retrofit the quantum with the lab.
Quantum as in the
taxi,
combi.
The combi.
Yeah.
And then we bought that and we retrofitted as labs, right? So this quantum basically then they'll have group of schools, and we partner with the Department of Education. They'll give us teachers. We train these teachers to a certain level of skill. And then these teachers will have the driver, and then these teachers will go to different schools and conduct the experiment as if the kids are sitting in class. So the mobile lab on its own in the Manzana area caters for about 4,000 kids.
Wow.
A day.
Wow. That's amazing. I mentioned the issue of dignity in my introduction.
Correct.
Right? It's not just about the science. It's not just about the lab. Where does the dignity part come in? Because I think you focus on hygiene and packs for both boys and girls.
Correct. This is the initiative that we adopted. I think they call it Keep a Girl Child in School, right? This is the old initiative. But we extended it to the boys. One of the things that you have to understand that there's about 45 days, especially in those areas, that a girl child will not go and attend the school. Not because they are sick.
45 days in a year?
In a year. 45 days in a year is a month and a half because nature called. So what do? If you look at the school system, there's about 9 to 10 months. If this child is not in school for about a month and a half because of nature calls, there's a problem. And again, that gap, you want this kid to perform. So what do we do then? We provide them with the dignity packs that have sanitary towels, that have all the hygiene items in there. That's for 12 months for each child. We've adopted about 9,000 kids in South Africa, 9,000 kids in Mozambique. So we're sitting on about 18,000 kids on an annual basis. So we start this thing as from grade 4 all the way to matric. We're just pushing the kids.
That would obviously suggest then there's been a lag, I would imagine, until programs and interventions like yours have come around, particularly when it comes to the number of girls who are staying in the classroom learning maths and science. That has all sorts of implications in terms of confidence,
of course,
in terms of support and visibility. How are you helping them overcome those?
Look, you know, Bongani, when we started this initiative, we were more focusing on the absenteeism, right? We wanted to keep the girls in class and wanted to keep the student, even the boy child, in class. But then we realized that later on, the most beautiful thing that happened, we saw the confidence coming up. We saw the dignities that was there. We can measure the pass rate, but you can't measure someone's confidence and dignity.
Yeah.
That's the reality that we're facing. And that's what we've seen. We've seen more people sitting in class and attending, and more of these kids wanting to take the maths and science and continue staying in class.
What do you say to the cynic, those people who are skeptical of corporate social programs, who see it maybe as just charity for headlines, but without real long-term impact?
Look, each and every corporate got its own strategy. And I think most of us, we want to do programs that are sustainable, about future. And if we all talk about the future, that this is the future that I want, you have to understand that that future that you want is dependent on the quality of the foundation that you do today. Each and every corporate, I'm part of that product. I'm a scientist, I'm a CEO, come from a township. My parents would have never afforded the education that I have today. But it was corporate that did that. So if we're going to say, no, corporate is just ticking the box, no, they're making it different. We're building the future. If you want future doctors, you want future scientists, future engineers, not every parent can afford that. Not even the government cannot afford that. We need corporate to come in and chip in.
Lift as you rise,
Lift
as they say. Lanzeni Boyce, the CEO of Romco, another corporate that cares.
Thank you.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
And look at the time. It's 9 o'clock. That brings us to the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast. We'll see you bright and early once more tomorrow morning. The Clement Manyatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A new witness is expected to take the stand at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry today as it continues to zoom in on crime and corruption within the Ekurhuleni Metro. The municipality has emerged as one of the commission with tales of tender corruption, killings and other irregularities. Tabiso Goba takes